Chapter 653. What kind of fog is this? Breaking into the periphery of the vast heaven domain, Yi Qianfeng felt that the black fog floating in the air was uncontrollably drilling into his body, eroding his body and devouring his blood and qi. The soul he released was also blocked by the thick and sticky black fog. It could only extend for about 30 meters, and he could not tell the direction. God-Eater brain. Blocked by the black fog, Yi Qianfeng immediately controlled the power of the God-Eater brain to radiate out. Sure enough, the power of the God-Eater brain is not affected by the black fog. It can extend for hundreds of meters. Although the black fog in the periphery of the vast heaven domain was very strange, the existence of the God-Eater brain was even more heaven-defying. The radiated soul power penetrated the thick black fog and sensed the danger in the periphery of the vast heaven domain. The vacuum area. Yi Qianfeng rapidly traveled for more than an hour. The radiated soul power of the God-Eater brain detected a relatively safe vacuum area in the black fog and quickly flew over. However, when Yi Qianfeng rapidly approached the vacuum area, he suddenly felt a mysterious power in the violently rolling black fog, chopping at him like an axe. Caught off guard, Yi Qianfeng's body was hit by this mysterious power. A half-meter-long wound appeared on his body, which was comparable to a supreme heaven weapon, and a large amount of blood flowed out uncontrollably. What kind of power is this? Looking at the half-meter-long wound on his chest and feeling the tearing pain coming from it, Yi Qianfeng's expression changed drastically. He did not expect that there would be such a terrifying power hidden in the black fog that could actually tear his body apart so easily. Fiend God body. Sensing the danger, Yi Qianfeng did not hesitate to burn his Fiend God bloodline and transform into the strongest Fiend God body. He forcibly raised the defense of his body to the level of a quasi-Dao treasure and continued to fly toward the vacuum area hidden in the black fog. As he rapidly approached the vacuum area, Yi Qianfeng was attacked by several axe-like mysterious power. However, after transforming into the Fiend God body, Yi Qianfeng's body was extremely powerful and completely resisted the mysterious power. He tore through the thick black fog, broke a hard space wall, and entered the relatively safe vacuum area. A soul crystal, such a big soul crystal. Forcefully breaking into the vacuum region, Yi Qianfeng discovered that there was a 2-meter-tall, milky white superior soul crystal in the middle of the vacuum region. It contained a powerful soul power. However, this vacuum wasn't as safe as he thought it would be. The power here was extremely chaotic, and it affected his soul power and spirit, making him feel as if his blood vessels were about to burst. Chaos Divine Wood, suppress. Yi Qianfeng took a deep breath and began to circulate the soul-devouring incantation at high speed. He forcibly dispelled the interference of the chaotic space around him as he glanced sharply at the soul crystal. However, he didn't approach it. Instead, he produced several precious celestial soul pills and swallowed them. Then he sat down cross-legged on the ground and began to rapidly heal his injuries. Buzz, buzz, buzz. While Yi Qianfeng was healing his wounds, a powerful soul power suddenly gushed out from the soul crystal. It transformed into a trident and shot towards Yi Qianfeng. Finally, you can't help but make a move. Yi Qianfeng's soul was extremely powerful. When he broke through this vacuum, he could sense that there was a person hiding in the soul crystal above him. He didn't wait for the extremely fast trying to get close to him before he dodged the attack. You actually discovered me. After the attack failed, the 2-meter-tall superior soul crystal slowly rotated. A voluptuous woman with an icy expression appeared in front of Yi Qianfeng's eyes. Due to the passage of time, the woman's clothes were severely damaged, revealing her slender legs and large patches of snow-white skin. Her alluring twin peaks were half hidden, and she was extremely alluring. Rank 1, Combat Beast Emperor. Yi Qianfeng's sharp eyes looked at the woman in the soul crystal. He could sense her true strength from the aura she was emitting. However, Yi Qianfeng didn't mind. If she continued to act recklessly, Yi Chenfeng wouldn't mind destroying her. Junior, with your rank 5 Defiant Beast King cultivation, it seems like you have something to rely on. The woman looked coldly at Yi Chenfeng and said maliciously, "What? You want to snatch it?" The corner of Yi Chenfeng's mouth rose slightly, revealing a dangerous arc as he said coldly, "Ha ha, Junior, it seems like you're very confident in your own strength. Then, let me see what you are relying on." The woman sneered. Her voluptuous body fused with the superior soul crystal, turning into a trident again. It tore through the chaotic energy and stabbed towards Yi Chenfeng. Great Sun Sky Fire Fist. Yi Chenfeng instantly fused with the two-headed Blood Dragon King and blasted out an earth-shattering punch. The terrifying power and soul power fused together and transformed into a blazing sun-like punch, shattering the trident light halberd with a single punch. Seeing the trident being shattered by Yi Chenfeng's punch, the woman raised her eyebrows and revealed a look of surprise. She was shocked by Yi Chenfeng's combat strength. Ruthless Heavenly Tao. After breaking the trident, Yi Chenfeng continued to attack. 7 Heavenly Tao runes gushed out of his body and evolved into Heavenly Tao energy. It was like a roaring wave that blasted over. Not good. Seeing the Heavenly Tao energy rolling over the void and feeling the Heavenly Tao's might that made her heart palpitate, the woman's expression changed drastically. She decisively turned around and used the superior soul crystal to defend herself. Boom! When the Heavenly Tao mercilessly slammed into the tough upper soul crystal, the terrifying power immediately shattered the soul crystal. The terrifying Heavenly Tao power passed through the upper soul crystal and ruthlessly slammed into the woman's body, severely injuring her body and sending her flying out of the soul crystal. A large amount of blood spurted out of her mouth. How can you have such combat strength? Her body was severely injured, and her face was pale and covered in blood. She revealed a look of disbelief. 7 Swords of Judgment, Waning Moon. Yi Chenfeng didn't bother to talk nonsense with her. 60 Sword Tao runes gushed out of his body and turned into a strange demonic moon that hung in midair. 6th Heaven of Sword Tao Intent. After witnessing the 60 Sword Tao runes that Yi Chenfeng condensed, the woman was truly frightened. She yelled out, "Stop! Quickly stop!" Slash! Hearing the woman's exclamation, Yi Chenfeng wasn't moved. He forcefully slashed down the waning moon sword light, which tore through the air and shattered the superior soul crystal that was filled with cracks. It shattered the woman's defense and sent her flying. "Stop! If you don't stop, don't blame me for being impolite." The severely injured woman quickly crawled up and glared furiously at Yi Chenfeng, who was still attacking her, as she yelled out a warning. "Die!" Yi Chenfeng was never merciful to his enemies. The monarch weapon appeared in his hand and pierced over like a hot knife through butter. He wanted to kill the woman. "You forced me to do this." With her life hanging by a thread, the woman let out a high-pitched scream. She held onto a half-meter tall stone tablet and clashed with the monarch weapon that was fused with 60 Sword Tao runes and had the strength of 5 million kilograms. Bang! The stone tablet in the woman's hand was shattered by the monarch weapon. The woman's bleeding body suddenly exploded, turning into a large amount of blood mist and Tao intent, which blended into the chaotic space with the stone tablet fragments. In the next moment, the scene in front of Yi Chenfeng changed. The severely injured woman was nowhere to be seen. Yi Chenfeng realized that he had appeared in a pool of wine and a forest of meat. There were plenty of women who were wearing gauze short skirts and had wonderful figures. They were faintly discernible, and they were constantly letting out coquettish gasps. They were slowly wriggling their delicate bodies and walking towards him. Among these enchanting and charming women, Yi Chenfeng saw 2 familiar figures. The woman's life hanging by a thread had used the illusion Tao runes to launch an illusion attack and invaded Yi Chenfeng's mind. She had stolen a portion of his memories and allowed Yu Bingyu and Shadow to appear in the illusion. Mobile reading website, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, You can click on the save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 654. Chengfeng, what are you still standing there for? Come over here. Yu Bingyu, who was wearing a white chiffon skirt, had red skin and a pair of seductive peaks that were faintly discernible. Her legs were perfectly round and straight. She exuded a wild beauty as she walked in front of Yi Chunfeng with an enchanting fragrance. She stuck close to his body like a beautiful snake, full of temptation. Shadow was even more daring. As she walked, the tulle that covered her tall and slender figure gently slid down her smooth body, exposing her flawless body before Yi Chunfeng's eyes. Chengfeng, what are you waiting for? Let us sisters help you take off your clothes. As she spoke, Shadow stretched out her fair and tender little hand and grabbed Yi Chunfeng's clothes, wanted to take off his clothes. Looking at Yu Bingyu and Shadow's alluring figure, feeling the temptation of skin against skin, Yi Chunfeng, whose eyes flickered with the illusion Dao insight, had a clear mind and wasn't affected in the slightest. And at this moment, one after another flirtatious women who had taken off their tulle surrounded Yi Chunfeng while panting delicately, constantly teasing his nerves. Just as Yi Chunfeng was immersed in a gentle and tender state that was enough to make men go crazy, a sharp light suddenly appeared and attacked Yi Chunfeng's head with a speed that was difficult to be seen by the naked eye. This attack was extremely sudden, and ordinary people wouldn't be able to dodge in time when they were immersed in the illusion of soft and fragrant jade. However, Yi Chunfeng had comprehended the illusion Dao insight to the 4th level, and the illusion that invaded his soul posed no threat to him. Yi Chunfeng swiftly pointed out with his finger. With a force of 5 million kilograms, 60 sword Dao patterns shot out from his finger and shattered this sudden attack with a single finger. Then, Yi Chunfeng blasted out a punch in the northwest direction. The will of the great Dao merged together like flowing water, turning into an earth-shattering fist ray. This punch distorted the illusory space. PFFF. A painful roar rang out. The woman hidden in the illusory space was punched by Yi Chunfeng and revealed her true form. A large amount of blood spurted out from her mouth. In the next moment, the 4th level of the illusory Dao insight completely erupted and fused into the illusory space, causing a large amount of ripples to surge out as the folds of numerous scenes that caused one's blood to boil vanished. 4th level of the Dao insight of illusion. With your strength as a 5th level defiant beast king, how could you comprehend Dao so deeply? Could it be that you're from one of the 3 divine kingdoms? After the illusory space was broken, the pale-faced woman revealed a look of terror. She looked at Yi Chunfeng in a completely different light. Blood was flowing out from the corner of her mouth. He couldn't imagine that Yi Chunfeng, who was merely a 5th level defiant beast king, had not only comprehended his sword Dao intent to the 6th level, but also his illusion Dao intent to the 4th level. This kind of shocking talent and comprehension made the woman wonder if Yi Chunfeng came from the 3 divine kingdoms of the central continent. You're about to die. There's no need for you to know who I am, Yi Chunfeng said in a domineering tone. The invincible aura and sharp killing intent released from his body made the woman feel suffocated. Wait, it was all my fault earlier. If you're willing to let me go, I'm willing to agree to any of your requests and tell you a big secret about the vast heaven region. Feeling the killing intent released from Yi Chunfeng's body, the woman was truly frightened. She revealed a trace of tenderness and pitifully begged for mercy. The secret of the vast heaven region. Although the woman's clothes were severely torn and her exposed body was very alluring, Yi Chunfeng wasn't interested in her. However, he revealed a trace of interest in the vast heaven region that she mentioned. Tell me, what's the secret of the vast heaven region? Yi Chunfeng withdrew his killing intent and asked coldly, as long as you promise to let me go, I'll tell you the secret of the vast heaven region. The woman tightly bit her moist lips. Her eyes flashed with seduction as she said in a soft voice, You don't have the right to bargain with me. Tell me the secret of the Azure Heaven region first. If what you say is true, I will spare your life. But if you dare to lie to me, then don't blame me for being merciless. Yi Chunfeng ignored the seductive look in the woman's eyes and warned her coldly. Okay, then I'll tell you the secret of the vast heaven region. I hope you won't lie to me. Seeing the determination in Yi Chunfeng's eyes, the woman helplessly sighed and said, I've been trapped here for 18 years. After 18 years of observation, I think the vast heaven region is very likely the dojo of a big shot. Dojo? Yi Chunfeng raised his eyebrows and asked in a low voice, What evidence do you have to prove that the vast heaven region is a dojo? Yes. Back then, I took the risk to enter the vast heaven region. In addition to this giant soul crystal, I also obtained a mysterious fragment. Saying so, the woman took out a brown fragment from her yin and yang ring. It was overflowing with soul energy. She slowly walked towards Yi Chunfeng. When she was in front of Yi Chunfeng, the woman's legs suddenly weakened and her voluptuous body fell towards Yi Chunfeng. The moment she fell into Yi Chunfeng's arms, she suddenly crushed the soul fragment in her hand. A powerful soul energy drilled into Yi Chunfeng's mind and directly attacked his soul, wanting to tear it apart. You're courting death. Yi Chunfeng used the God-Eater brain to resist the soul fragment's attack. He erupted with nearly 20 million gene of strength, wanting to tear her apart. It's not certain who will die. A murderous intent flashed in the eyes of the woman who threw herself into Yi Chunfeng's arms. She instantly transformed into her beast soul form. 8 extremely sharp silver needles appeared between her fingers. She pierced them towards Yi Chunfeng's major acupuncture points on his chest. As long as the 8 acupuncture points on Yi Chunfeng's body were pierced by the silver needles, his combat strength would be greatly reduced. What? When the 8 silver needles pierced into the acupuncture points on Yi Chunfeng's body, they felt as if they were piercing into black iron. Not only were they unable to penetrate even an inch, a strong repulsive force passed through the silver needles and into her fingers. I wanted to spare your life, but it seems that I don't need to anymore. Yi Chunfeng relied on his body, which was comparable to a supreme celestial tool, to block the woman's surprise attack. Yi Chunfeng fiercely threw out a punch, which landed on the woman's chest and sent her flying. She crashed heavily into the hard space wall, and her towering peaks caved in. You'll die with me. After her well-planned attack failed, the woman knew that she had lost the upper hand. A cold light flashed in her eyes. She wanted to self-destruct and perish together with Yi Chunfeng, who was rapidly approaching her. The moment the woman self-destructed, 10 heavenly Tao runes flew out of Yi Chunfeng's body and broke into her body. They forcibly sealed the tumbling qi and blood in her body, not giving her a chance to self-destruct. Soul-devouring art. Then, Yi Chunfeng activated the soul-devouring art. A devouring whirlpool appeared in his palm. He pressed it on the woman's head and devoured her spiritual beast. After killing the first-level combat Beast Emperor woman, Yi Chunfeng took away her universe ring. He summoned the sword puppet and ordered it to devour the soul crystals scattered on the ground to replenish some of its energy. God-Eater brain, break. With a thought, Yi Chunfeng broke the seal in the universe ring and penetrated it. Except for a map depicting the periphery of Tiansong domain, there was nothing valuable. However, the map left behind by the woman was much more detailed than the one he got from Mo Long Abyss. There were many detailed annotations, and these annotations kept mentioning the word dojo. Dojo. Is Tiansong domain really a dojo left behind by a big shot? Yi Chunfeng muttered to himself. He felt that Tiansong domain, the most dangerous place in the Western continent, was hiding a shocking secret. Mobile reading site. Book address. To facilitate your next reading, you can click Save at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 655. After forcefully killing the mysterious woman, Yi Chunfeng withstood the erosion and interference of the chaotic energy. He cleared all distracting thoughts and control the life Dao pattern to heal his injuries. Soon, Yi Chenfeng's injuries were quickly healed under the nourishment of the life Dao pattern. The spiritual beast of the woman that the God-eater brain had devoured was also fully integrated into his body, further increasing his strength. Huff! I have finally recovered from my injuries. Yi Chenfeng let out a breath of turbid air and woke up from the healing process. Yi Chenfeng didn't dare to go any further. He sat down cross-legged in this chaotic space and began to practice the 7th move of the 7 Sword of Judgment. It was too dangerous for him to enter the training grounds of the Empyrean realm. The 7 Swords of Judgment might only be an intermediate Dao technique, but the 6th move, Annihilation, was already comparable to an advanced Dao technique. The 7th move, Judgment, was even more terrifying and far surpassed the 2nd move of the Emperor Heaven Sword art, Emperor Heaven Sword. If Yi Chenfeng could master it, it would definitely be his number 1 trump card. So the 7th move of the 7 Swords of Judgment is an ultimate move that combines the power of the first 6 moves. Yi Chenfeng controlled the God-eater brain to deduce for more than 2 days and finally deduced the true essence of the judgment. He started to cultivate in depth. However, at this moment, there was a crisp spatial crack. The tough spatial walls of the vacuum zone were attacked by a terrifying force and were directly split open. In the next moment, Mo Fengyun, who was wearing a black robe and had the spiritual rhino rope around his waist, appeared in midair with the Sky Demon Dao weapon in his hand. Yi Chenfeng, I can't help but admire you. Your life is truly tough. You actually managed to survive such a desperate situation. Mo Fengyun said coldly as he looked coldly at Yi Chenfeng, who was hiding a great secret, and looked at the traces of creation with a sinister gaze. Mo Fengyun. Seeing Mo Fengyun suddenly appear, Yi Chenfeng frowned. He didn't expect Mo Fengyun to be so daring to chase him all the way to the Empyrean region. Mo Fengyun, it seems like you are really afraid that I will destroy everything you have when I grow stronger. Otherwise, you wouldn't have taken a risk to chase me all the way here. Yi Chenfeng looked at Mo Fengyun as though he was facing a formidable enemy and spoke softly. Ha ha, you can think of it that way. Mo Fengyun laughed uproariously. Yi Chenfeng, you are my challenge, as well as my chance to transform. I have a feeling that if I kill you and obtain everything you possess, I will definitely be able to reach the peak of the martial path. Mo Fengyun, let me give you a sentence. Wishes are beautiful, but reality is cruel. I'm afraid you won't be able to kill me. Yi Chenfeng didn't back down. His fully released soul had already locked onto the weak point of the vacuum region, waiting for the opportunity to break through with all his might. How do you know if you don't try? Mo Fengyun's killing intent instantly condensed into a formless giant blade, tearing through the air and slashing toward Yi Chenfeng. Facing Mo Fengyun's murderous attack, Yi Chenfeng unleashed the power of the 5 spiritual pearls in his body. He stomped on the hard ground and rushed toward the giant blade of murderous aura, shattering it with a single punch. Chi! The moment Yi Chenfeng shattered the giant blade of murderous aura, Mo Fengyun slashed out with his saber, tearing through the space and slashing toward Yi Chenfeng. Sword Puppet. Mo Fengyun's Sky Demon Dao soldier was too powerful. Yi Chenfeng didn't burst out with his own attack. Instead, he quickly summoned the sword puppet and sent it crashing toward the black demonic saber. Boom! The black demonic saber landed heavily on the sword puppet, instantly consuming a large amount of power from the soul crystals in his body. However, the saber didn't manage to shake his body. Seizing this fleeting opportunity, Yi Chenfeng stored the sword puppet in the Qinquan realm and ignited the golden rock bloodline. Like a beam of golden light, he rushed toward the weak point of the space. 100 Battles Blood Shadow. Seeing that Yi Chenfeng wanted to break through the space wall, Mo Fengyun immediately fused with the power of the demon heart and split into hundreds of blood shadows with different appearances and demonic weapons. They sealed off the entire space, not giving Yi Chenfeng a chance to break through. 7 Swords of Judgment, Annihilation. Looking at the flashing blood shadows, Yi Chenfeng didn't dodge. Instead, He infused his Tao intent into the Emperor's celestial sword and slashed at the void. The space in front of him couldn't withstand the destructive power of the Annihilation Sword radiance and started to collapse. The flashing blood shadows were also pierced through by the Annihilation Sword radiance and couldn't stop Yi Qianfeng. Just as Yi Qianfeng relied on his absolute attack to tear apart the 100 Battles blood shadow, he suddenly felt danger beside him. Mo Fengyun turned into an afterimage and appeared beside Yi Qianfeng eerily. He held the Sky Demon Dao Soldier and slashed at Yi Qianfeng's body. Sword Puppet. At this critical moment, Yi Qianfeng summoned the Sword Puppet again. Using its defensive power, he resisted the attack of the Sky Demon Dao Soldier. Roar of Chaos. The Chaos Spiritual Beast seized the opportunity and gathered all its soul power. It let out a roar that could shake the earth and mountains. It struck Mo Fengyun's body at close range and forced him to retreat a few meters. Emperor Sky's sword break. The moment Mo Fengyun was pushed back by the roar of chaos, Yi Qianfeng held the Emperor Sky's sword and pierced the weak point of the space. He broke the tough space wall with a single strike. Let's go. Yi Qianfeng roared and passed through the broken vacuum region with the sword puppet. They appeared at the periphery of the vast heaven region, which was filled with thick black fog. It was impossible to tell the direction. Where do you think you're going? Mo Fengyun looked at the indestructible sword puppet and gritted his teeth. If not for the sword puppet using its body to block his sure-kill attack, Yi Qianfeng would have been killed by him. Roar of Chaos. Mo Fengyun chased after Mo Fengyun rapidly. The Chaos Spiritual Beast continued to release the Roar of Chaos to attack and slow him down. The thick and sticky black fog was also tumbling violently under the attack of the Roar of Chaos. It greatly affected Mo Fengyun's soul spirit senses. However, Mo Fengyun was tied to the Lingxi rope and was not afraid of getting lost in the periphery of the vast heaven region. He constantly brandished the Sky Fiend Dao Soldier and slashed through the black fog that was surging towards him. He chased after Yi Qianfeng with all his might. Danger! Yi Qianfeng flew at top speed for half an hour with the help of the God-Eater brain. Suddenly, he sensed danger. Dozens of axe-like mysterious forces appeared and sealed the space. They attacked him at an extremely fast speed. Godfiend Bloodline Burn. To prevent any accidents, Yi Qianfeng decisively burned his Godfiend bloodline and transformed into his strongest Godfiend body. He used his Quasi-Dao treasure body to resist the mysterious forces hidden in the black fog. He wielded the Emperor Sky's sword and tried his best to break through the encirclement. Great Demon, slaying Dragon Blade. Yi Qianfeng was like a divine sword. As he advanced with irresistible force, Mo Fengyun caught up with him. His entire arm fused with the Sky Fiend Dao Soldier and slashed at Yi Qianfeng. The pitch-black demonic blade was like a roaring black dragon that flew towards Yi Qianfeng. Wind riding technique. Sensing danger behind him, Yi Qianfeng did not hesitate to use the wind riding technique. He turned into a wind shadow and dodged the demonic dragon-like blade light. He continued to escape into the depths of the vast heaven region. Although the deeper he went into the vast heaven region, the more dangerous it was. There were more mysterious forces hidden in the black fog. However, Yi Qianfeng had no choice but to take the risk. Yi Qianfeng wielded the Emperor Sky's sword and continued to tear apart the mysterious forces that were getting denser and denser. After traveling for more than 2 hours, he finally passed through the thick black fog and arrived at a desolate, deathly silent space that was filled with repressive forces. This desolate space was the true periphery of the vast heaven region. It was also the true dangerous place. It was a forbidden zone for life. Mobile reading website. Book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 656. This power. It seems that vast heaven domain is indeed a dojo. But who could have left such a terrifying dojo in the Western continent? Yin Yin. Flying into the outer region of vast heaven domain, the God-Eater brain immediately sensed that the entire vast heaven domain was filled with a powerful force, and this force was evolving according to a special trajectory. Just as Yi Chen-feng was fearful of the terrifying force in vast heaven domain and did not dare to go in blindly, Mo Fengyun broke through the thick black fog and chased after him. In order to kill Yi Chen-feng, Mo Fengyun risked severing the Lingxi rope that had already reached its limit. Exploding demonic saber, blood-refining demonic saber. Mo Fengyun quickly waved the sky demon Dao soldier and continuously slashed out powerful Dao skills, tearing the void and shattering the earth as he suppressed Yi Chen-feng with all his might. Damn it, Mo Fengyun is a madman. With Mo Fengyun's powerful soul, he must have sensed the danger in the outer region of vast heaven domain, but he ignored it and attacked with all his might. It was clear that he was determined to kill him. Fight! Mo Fengyun was much stronger than Yi Chen-feng, and Yi Chen-feng could not withstand his attacks. In desperation, Yi Chen-feng gritted his teeth and took the risk to rush into the outer region of vast heaven domain. According to the detailed map in his mind, he tried his best to escape from Mo Fengyun's pursuit. However, Mo Fengyun also had a map of the outer region of vast heaven domain. He chased closely after Yi Chen-feng, constantly waving the sky demon Dao soldier to injure him. Just as Yi Chen-feng could not withstand Mo Fengyun's ferocious attacks and was in danger, the God-Eater brain quickly deduced and found a hidden restriction. Break! Yi Chen-feng threw out a punch without hesitation. The great sun heavenly fire fist, which was like a blazing sun, heavily smashed into the hidden restriction. In the next moment, Yi Chen-feng did not wait for the hidden restriction to erupt with earth-shattering power. He decisively ignited the golden rock bloodline, raised his speed to the maximum, and flew thousands of meters away. Oh no! Sensing the terrifying energy beneath his feet, Mo Fengyun's expression changed slightly, and he wanted to escape at full speed. However, in the instant that he dodged, Yi Chen-feng blasted out the merciless heavenly way with one hand and the extreme way of the profound underworld with the other, distorting space and forcibly slowing down the speed at which he dodged. Rumble. At this time, the terrifying energy hidden underground erupted like a volcanic eruption, forming a destructive power that bombarded the entire space. Mo Fengyun, who couldn't dodge in time, was sent flying and suffered heavy injuries. Success. After successfully ambushing Mo Fengyun and severely injuring him, Yi Chen-feng immediately sped up and continued to venture deeper into the outskirts of Empyrean region, escaping Mo Fengyun's pursuit. Brat, where do you think you're going? After being ambushed by Yi Chen-feng, Mo Fengyun was enraged. He quickly controlled his demon heart to suppress the injuries on his body and continued to chase after Yi Chen-feng. The two of them, one chasing and one escaping, fought fiercely in the outskirts of Empyrean region, causing great destruction and triggering terrifying hidden restrictions that bombarded the entire space. Just as the ground of Empyrean region was severely damaged by the two of them, they suddenly felt the surrounding temperature rise instantly, and the ground began to tremble. In the next moment, the two of them saw a huge crack appear in front of them, and a thunderous roar was heard from the crack, piercing through the clouds. Even though Yi Chen-feng and Mo Fengyun were dozens of miles away from the giant crack, they could still feel their eardrums bulging. It was as if they were going to lose their hearing. Their heads hurt so badly that they felt like they were going to explode. They hurriedly sealed their ears with their soul power to prevent their souls from being damaged. The aura of a sacred beast. There's actually a sacred beast here. Hearing the terrifying roar from afar, the chaotic divine beast's voice trembled. Boss, you can't go any further. If you anger that sacred beast, you won't be able to withstand its claw attack no matter how powerful you are. Sacred beast. Hearing the chaotic divine beast's warning, Yi Chen-feng couldn't help but gasp. Sacred beasts were usually only found in the heaven domain, and they had long been extinct in the fighting spirit continent. Every sacred beast had the power to destroy the world, and they were extremely terrifying existences in the heaven domain. Why is there a sacred beast here? Could it be that Empyrean region is a dojo left behind by a heaven domain expert? Yi Chen-feng couldn't help but suspect the origin of Empyrean region. When Mo Fengyun heard the terrifying roar from afar, he was deeply shocked and didn't dare to attack recklessly. Roar, roar, roar. After the roar, the mysterious sacred beast that tore open the ground let out another deafening roar, bombarding the entire space. For a moment, the earth outside Empyrean region shook, and the terrifying roar made all beasts submit to it. Yi Chen-feng and Mo Fengyun's souls trembled, and their blood boiled. It was as if the end of the world was coming. Just as Yi Chen-feng and Mo Fengyun were intimidated by the mysterious sacred beast's roar and wanted to give up on fighting and retreat, a fire-red dragon head with coral-like dragon horns stretched out of the crack and appeared in front of Yi Chen-feng and Mo Fengyun. Dragon. A true dragon? When Yi Chen-feng saw the sinister and terrifying gigantic head covered in fiery red scales in the distance, all the hair on his body stood on end, and he held his breath. No, that's not a dragon, but a fire qilin with the bloodline of a sacred beast. The knowledgeable sacred beast of chaos, who had a lot of inherited memories, saw through Yi Chen-feng's body and recognized the giant head hidden in Empyrean region. Fire qilin. There's a sacred beast qilin hidden in Empyrean region. What secrets are hidden in Empyrean region? What is the fire qilin protecting in Empyrean region? While feeling frightened, Yi Chen-feng kept trying to figure out the secrets of Empyrean region. Just as Yi Chen-feng and Mo Fengyun were deeply intimidated by the fire qilin's head, and their hearts seemed to have stopped beating, the fire qilin's bell-like eyes shot out endless light as it looked at Yi Chen-feng and Mo Fengyun. In an instant, Yi Chen-feng and Mo Fengyun felt as if they had been hit by a heavy blow, as if they had been pierced by the fire qilin's gaze. Their faces turned pale, and their bodies were drenched in sweat. Terrifying, too terrifying. Is this the power of a sacred beast? Just one look is enough to make me feel as if my liver and gallbladder are about to burst. Yi Chen-feng prayed in his heart, unable to breathe properly. As for the arrogant Mo Fengyun, when the fire qilin revealed its giant head, he quickly lowered his body, afraid that he would lose his life if the fire qilin saw him. After coldly glancing at Yi Chen-feng and Mo Fengyun, the fire qilin stretched out its claws, which were even more terrifying than a Tao artifact, and clawed at the ground, crawling out of the ground. After crawling out of the ground, the fire qilin did not take the initiative to attack Yi Chen-feng and Mo Fengyun. In its eyes, Yi Chen-feng and Mo Fengyun were just two small ants that did not deserve to die under its sharp claws. Boom! The fire qilin's four pillar-like limbs suddenly exerted force, shattering layers of the ground. With endless flames, it flew into the air, twisting space, and quickly disappeared into the depths of vast heaven domain. Looking in the direction where the fire qilin left, the deeply intimidated Yi Chen-feng and Mo Fengyun did not move, nor did they take the opportunity to launch a sneak attack. This was because they were afraid that the fierce battle would alert the fire qilin and attract its attention. If that happened, even if they had 100 lives, they would not be enough for the fire qilin to kill. Mobile reading site. Book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record your reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 657. Terrifying, too terrifying. What kind of secret is hidden in vast heaven domain? Yi Chen-feng stood in place, not daring to move. The image of the fire qilin kept flashing through his mind. He had encountered a saint beast in the outskirts of vast heaven domain. Yi Chen-feng didn't know if there were more terrifying saint beasts in vast heaven domain. However, the fact that vast heaven domain was guarded by sacred beasts showed that there was a great secret hidden here. But Yi Chen-feng knew that with his current strength, it was impossible for him to know the secrets of vast heaven domain. Die! Mo Fengyun was also shocked. He glanced at Yi Chen-feng, and a murderous light flashed in his eyes. He suddenly attacked with his blade. Wind riding technique. Yi Chen-feng's soul had already locked onto Mo Fengyun. The moment Mo Fengyun attacked, Yi Chen-feng's body blurred and turned into a blurry wind shadow, dodging Mo Fengyun's attack. Mo Fengyun, follow me if you are not afraid of death. Yi Chen-feng glanced coldly at the murderous Mo Fengyun. He gritted his teeth and continued to fly into the depths of vast heaven domain. He wanted to use the power of the fire Qilin to intimidate Mo Fengyun and find a chance to get rid of him. Since you're not afraid of death, I'm not afraid of death either. Mo Fengyun looked at Yi Chen-feng flying into the depths of vast heaven domain. He hesitated for a moment and quickly chased after him. He knew very well that this was the best time to kill Yi Chen-feng. If he missed this opportunity, when Yi Chen-feng grew, what awaited him would likely be death. It could be said that he had no way out. Madman. Mo Fengyun is definitely a madman. Yi Chen-feng felt that Mo Fengyun was getting faster and faster. He was anxious and kept thinking of ways to escape. Black Wheel of Death. After closing the distance between him and Yi Chen-feng, Mo Fengyun immediately merged with his demon heart and condensed 10 black wheels of death. He attacked Yi Chen-feng, forcing him to dodge and slow down his speed. 100 battles, blood shadow. Yi Chen-feng shifted and evaded the black wheel of death in an extremely short time. The devil wind cloud immediately split into hundreds of blood shadows holding demonic weapons, sealing off the entire space. The heavenly Tao is heartless. Break. 7 runes of the heavenly ways gushed out from his body as he looked at the flashing blood shadow. They howled out as they struck the 100-battle blood shadow, forcefully tearing a hole in it. Just as Yi Chen-feng was about to break out of the encirclement, a slowly blooming black lotus appeared in front of him. Fiend God bloodline ignition, Fiend God body. Looking at the black lotus in front of him, Yi Chen-feng's face changed drastically. Without hesitation, he ignited his Fiend God bloodline and transformed into a Fiend God body, raising the defense of his body to the level of a quasi-Dao treasure. Boom! The myriad transformations Black Lotus exploded, releasing a destructive power that formed a terrifying shockwave that instantly engulfed Yi Chen-feng. Countless gravel shattered, and the ground cracked. The periphery of the firmament domain fell into chaos. Facing the explosive attack of the myriad transformations Black Lotus had on, Yi Chen-feng's body, which was comparable to a quasi-Dao treasure, could not withstand it. A large amount of blood spurted out of his mouth, and his body was covered with bloody wounds. Die! Mo Fengyun roared. His whole body merged with the heavenly demon Dao soldier, turning into an invincible giant blade. It cut open the space and slashed toward Yi Chen-feng, who was engulfed by the destructive storm. Unable to dodge, Yi Chen-feng decisively summoned the sword spirit puppet and used it as a shield behind him, blocking Mo Fengyun's sure-kill attack. Roar of Chaos. At this time, the divine beast of chaos also released a powerful roar, bombarding Mo Fengyun. The impact made his blood and qi churn violently, and his body was knocked back several meters. Damn it, it's this doppelganger again. His all-out attack was once again blocked by the sword puppet. This made Mo Fengyun so angry that he wanted to vomit blood. Thunder and lightning flash. Yi Chen-feng took a deep breath. Suppressing the surging blood and injuries in his body, Yi Chen-feng turned into a zigzag lightning bolt and rushed out. Yi Chen-feng, if I don't kill you, I'm not human. Mo Fengyun roared and chased after him desperately. It seemed that he was going to perish together with him in the vast heaven domain. Roar! 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 Just as the two of them entered the depths of vast heaven domain, a series of earth-shaking roars rang out from the depths of vast heaven domain. Clatter! Hearing this terrifying roar, Yi Chen-feng and Mo Fengyun's expressions changed greatly. Apparently, the sacred beast Fire Kylan had sensed them and warned them. It seems that we have to go there. Hearing the warning of the Fire Kylan, Yi Chen-feng did not dare to go further. He quickly searched the topographic map of the periphery of the vast heaven domain in his mind and decided to take the risk to go to a dangerous place that was marked in detail on the map. That place was full of space cracks. If they were not careful, they could be swallowed by the space cracks. Blood and chi ignition. After making the decision, Yi Chenfeng ignited his blood and increased his speed to the maximum. Taking advantage of Mo Fengyun's shock from the fire Kylan's roar, he flew towards the ominous place. When Mo Fengyun came back to his senses and saw Yi Chenfeng flying away, he immediately sped up and chased after him. As he flew, Yi Chenfeng's soul power sensed that the space around him was becoming fragile. Terrifying space cracks were hidden in the fragile space walls. Gotcha! Just as Yi Chenfeng flew into this fragile space, his sharp senses immediately sensed it. His body flashed, and he quickly dodged. The moment he dodged, a strange space crack appeared and released a powerful devouring force that swallowed everything in the space. Yi Chenfeng, I am really impressed by your courage. I did not expect you to think of escaping from me here. Seeing the space crack that suddenly appeared, Mo Fengyun's face turned gloomy. Although he was very strong and was only one step away from becoming Class 4 Beast Emperor, if he was swallowed by the space crack, he would not be able to survive. However, he was determined to kill Yi Chenfeng. After a slight hesitation, he still took the risk and chased after him. Yi Chenfeng flew into the fragile space. The power of the God-Eater brain was fully released to sense the space cracks hidden in the space walls and to avoid the space cracks that could appear at any time. In these space cracks, when Yi Chenfeng was dodging the space cracks, the God-Eater brain's soul power forcefully penetrated the space cracks. It sensed that the space cracks were not filled with destructive space energy, but an independent space. Myriad Transformation Black Lotus. Taking advantage of the time when Yi Chenfeng was dodging the space cracks, Mo Fengyun caught up with him. With the help of the demon heart, he condensed several black lotuses that contained destructive energy and bombarded Yi Chenfeng. Boom, boom, boom. Several myriad transformation black lotuses exploded beside Yi Chenfeng at the same time. The burst of destructive energy shattered the space and swept across a large area, engulfing Yi Chenfeng. After being attacked by the myriad transformation black lotuses, a large area of the fragile space collapsed, causing Yi Chenfeng to be trapped and unable to extricate himself. Yi Chenfeng, go and die. 10 Directions Demonic Slash. When Yi Chenfeng was trapped in the collapsed space and his life was hanging by a thread, Mo Fengyun dodged a space crack. Holding the sky demonic Dao weapon, he slashed out a cross-shaped beam that tore open the fragile space and slashed towards Yi Chenfeng. Not good. Seeing the 10 Directions demonic slash coming down, Yi Chenfeng had several thoughts. In the end, he did not summon the sword puppet. Instead, he hugged his body and defended with all his strength. Boom! There was a deafening explosion as the 10 Directions demonic slash, with shocking destructive power, slashed onto Yi Chenfeng's body. Blood splattered everywhere as he was slashed into the collapsed space. He fell into the terrifying space crack and disappeared. P.S. Returning from the annual meeting. Looking for red envelopes. Red envelopes. There's an event for red envelopes. In addition, there's an event for free VIP. Everyone, come and support. Remember the website. Sandwich Chinese Network. Chapter 658. Phew, I finally killed him. Mo Fengyun heaved a sigh of relief when he saw Yi Chenfeng being swallowed by the spatial crack. However, Mo Fengyun felt somewhat regretful that he had killed Yi Chenfeng in such a manner. He regretted that he did not get Yi Chenfeng's many treasures. However, with his current strength, he did not have the courage to break through the spatial wall and snatch Yi Chenfeng's belongings. After hesitating for a while, he remembered the place where Yi Chenfeng died, left several marks, and turned to leave. He was going to wait until his strength improved to the level 6 combat Beast Emperor realm before coming here to look for Yi Chenfeng's belongings and explore the secrets of Vast Heaven Domain. However, Yi Chenfeng's current state wasn't what Mo Fengyun had imagined. He wasn't being torn apart by the terrifying power of space. At this moment, under the guidance of the God-Eater brain, he smashed through a spatial wall and entered a pitch-black space with thin spiritual energy. Phew! The God-Eater brain did not disappoint me. There is an independent space hidden in the spatial crack. Mo Fengyun should not dare to chase after me now. After falling into this independent space, Yi Chunfeng heaved a sigh of relief. He lay on the slightly damp ground and panted heavily. After resting on the ground for a while, Yi Chunfeng immediately consumed 2 heaven-level soul elixirs and controlled the Tao of life to heal his injuries. Rumble! Suddenly, a deafening explosion sounded in the pitch-black space. The power of the entire space became chaotic and formed a storm that swept across the heavens and earth. What kind of power is this? Feeling the sudden appearance of the destructive storm, Yi Chunfeng, who was healing his injuries, changed his expression slightly. He quickly radiated the power of the God-Eater brain and looked for a place to hide. However, this space was too spacious. Yi Chunfeng could not find a place to hide at all. He had to burn his divine devil bloodline and transform into his divine devil body to withstand the destructive storm. After transforming into his fiend god body, Yi Chunfeng's physical body was comparable to a pseudo-Dao treasure. However, the destructive storm was too terrifying. Yi Chunfeng withstood the destructive storm for more than 2 hours. Gradually, he could no longer withstand it. Tiny cracks appeared on the surface of his physical body. Vermilion bird cauldron suppressed space. With his body injured, Yi Chunfeng immediately summoned the vermilion bird cauldron. He controlled the vermilion bird cauldron to release a powerful suppressive force that suppressed space and forcefully weakened the destructive power of the storm. Junior, if you don't want to die, quickly come to the northwest 5 kilometers away. There is an ancient tree here that can help you withstand the storm. Just as Yi Chunfeng was using the suppression of the vermilion bird cauldron to resist the destructive storm, a mysterious voice suddenly entered Yi Chunfeng's ears. Northwest Gumu. Yi Chunfeng was stunned. He did not expect that there would be someone in this black space. However, he did not have much time to think. He quickly took out the Emperor Celestial Sword and slashed through the destructive storm that was surging towards him. He took the risk and flew towards the northwest. Gumu, there is indeed an ancient tree here. Yi Chunfeng was like a lone boat that broke through layers of destructive storms. After paying a huge price, he finally sensed an ancient tree in the northwest of the black space that was like a pillar that supported the heavens. It was not affected by the destructive storms and contained powerful Tao intent. 7 swords of judgment, destroy. The god-devouring brain locked onto the location of the ancient tree. Yi Chunfeng's body contained several Tao intents and nearly 40 million kilograms of force. He held the Emperor's Celestial Sword and slashed out a spaceship that could destroy space. It tore through space and opened up a passageway. Whoosh! Immediately after, there was an ear-piercing sound as the golden rock's wings flapped violently, creating a hurricane that pushed Yi Chunfeng's flying speed continuously. He passed through the passageway created by the spaceship and arrived at the bottom of the ancient tree. What kind of tree is this? In the area that its tree crown covers, the destructive power of the destructive storms is actually greatly reduced. After arriving at the bottom of the ancient tree's luxuriant tree crown, Yi Chunfeng discovered that the destructive storms were restrained by the ancient tree, and their power was greatly reduced. He heaved a sigh of relief. I didn't expect that after being trapped in this damn place for nearly 10,000 years, someone would finally come here again. At this moment, a deep and old voice rang out from the ancient tree. Thank you for your help earlier. Yi Chunfeng's soul sensed that there was a terrifying soul hidden in the ancient tree and thanked him softly. What a strong physical body. If I'm not wrong, your physical body has reached the level of a quasi-Dao treasure. The old soul said, otherwise, with your strength as a 5th-grade defiant beast king, you wouldn't have been able to withstand the attack of the storm in the dojo. The storm in the dojo? So this storm originated from the power of the dojo. Yi Chenfeng's eyebrows twitched slightly. He finally understood why the destructive storms were so terrifying. With your strength, why have you been trapped here for nearly 10,000 years and not come out? Just from the long years that the old soul had existed for, Yi Chenfeng could sense how terrifying it was at its peak. He asked in confusion, "Go out? If I could go out, would I still be in this state?" The old soul said, "Why? This spatial zone can only be entered and not exited?" Yi Chenfeng frowned slightly and asked softly, "That's right. This spatial zone is enveloped by the powerful dojo's power. One can only enter and not exit. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been trapped here for nearly 10,000 years. All right, Junior, you can slowly enjoy your loneliness here. I'm going to sleep." After finishing his words, the old soul didn't move anymore. Can I really leave? Yi Chenfeng was determined to pursue the pinnacle of the martial Tao and wasn't willing to be trapped here. After pondering for a moment, he sat cross-legged under the ancient tree and controlled the life Tao pattern to heal his injuries. He was prepared to wait for the storm to disperse so that he could use the power of the God-Eater brain to find a way to leave. Just as Yi Chenfeng was healing his injuries, the old soul that was supposed to be asleep suddenly broke out of the ancient tree and turned into a soul spirit sword. It entered Yi Chenfeng's soul sea. Why? You want to erase my soul spirit and seize my physical body? Yi Chenfeng's soul spirit had been tempered thousands of times and was extremely powerful. When the old soul lied that it was in deep sleep, he noticed something was wrong. He didn't go into deep sleep and was quietly accumulating his strength. That's right. I have never seen such a perfect physical body. After seizing your body and cultivating for another 100 years, I might have a chance to leave this godforsaken place. After successfully breaking into Yi Chenfeng's soul sea, the old soul revealed a sinister expression and spoke with pride. It seems like this place isn't a dead end. There is still a chance to leave. Yi Chenfeng spoke indifferently. So what? I'm afraid you won't live to see that day. While speaking, the old soul burst out with powerful soul spirit power and wanted to forcefully devour Yi Chenfeng's soul spirit and seize his perfect physical body. You are wrong. It isn't that I won't live to see that day, but you won't. God-Eater brain, devour. With a thought, the God-Eater brain appeared in Yi Chenfeng's mind. It released a powerful devouring power and tried to devour the old soul spirit. What is this? Looking at the God-Eater brain that appeared in Yi Chenfeng's soul sea and released a terrifying devouring power, the old soul smelled a strong aura. He decisively gave up on the idea of devouring Yi Chenfeng's soul spirit and wanted to leave his soul sea. You want to leave now? It's too late. The God-Eater brain condensed a black devouring whirlpool and engulfed the old soul. In an instant, it twisted him into pieces and devoured him completely. Soul fragments. After devouring the old soul, Yi Chenfeng unexpectedly discovered that the God-Eater brain had condensed a soul fragment. He was overjoyed and immediately controlled his soul to fuse with the soul fragment and obtain the information of the old soul spirit. Remember the website. Sandwich Chinese Network. Chapter 659. Hai Wu Dao, Class 4 Combat Beast Emperor. 10,000 years ago, he was the great elder of the East Sea Palace, the #1 faction in the Eastern Continent. At Yan, while fusing with the soul fragment, Yi Chenfeng obtained part of the aged soul fragment's memory and found out his identity. I wonder if the East Sea Palace or the Yu family is stronger. Yi Chenfeng had limited understanding of the Eastern Continent and wasn't clear about the changes in the Eastern Continent's current situation. Yes, this is 20 water Dao patterns and the superior Dao skill, triple ultimate water restriction. When Yi Chenfeng continued to fuse with Hai Wu Dao soul fragment, he unexpectedly discovered that the soul fragment contained the water Dao intent and an extremely powerful superior Dao skill. I didn't expect Hai Wu Dao's soul fragment to contain a complete set of superior Dao skill inheritance and 20 water Dao patterns. Yi Chenfeng's lips curled up slightly and revealed a faint smile. Controlling the God-Eater brain to forcibly memorize the triple ultimate water restriction and the 20 water Dao patterns, Yi Chunfeng continued to fuse with Hai Wu Dao's soul fragment. Finally, from Hai Wu Dao's soul fragment, Yi Chunfeng found out the only way to leave this mysterious space. The space that Yi Chunfeng was in was enveloped by the terrifying power of the dojo and could only be entered but not exited. However, after nearly 10,000 years of searching, Hai Wu Dao still found an opportunity to leave this space, and that opportunity was this towering ancient tree in front of him. This towering ancient tree was the core of this space. As long as he could destroy this ancient tree, he would be able to temporarily break the power of the dojo enveloping this space and leave this place. This was also the reason why Hai Wu Dao lured Yi Chunfeng here and wanted to forcefully possess him. After possessing Yi Chunfeng and fusing with Yi Chunfeng for 100 years, he would be able to destroy this ancient tree with the help of Yi Chunfeng's powerful physical body and leave this godforsaken place. However, what he didn't expect was that Yi Chunfeng had the terrifying God-Eater brain in his soul sea. It devoured his soul and shattered all his hopes. After he found out about the method to leave this space, Yi Chunfeng sat cross-legged beneath the ancient tree that contained formidable Dao insight, and he silently regulated his breathing as he waited for the tempest in the Dao grounds to disperse. After about a day or so, the storm that swept through the entire space began to weaken and finally disappeared. Chaos Divine would devour. The storm in the dojo disappeared. Yi Chunfeng summoned the Chaos Divine Wood without hesitation. He controlled the Chaos Divine Wood to form tens of thousands of five-colored roots. He attacked the towering ancient tree, wanting to devour it. After being attacked by the Chaos Divine Wood, a force that made Yi Chunfeng feel suffocated immediately gushed out from this ancient tree. The treetop that enveloped several li of land shook violently, and a large number of leaves fell down. They attacked the Chaos Divine Wood like extremely sharp blades, forcibly tearing apart the five-colored roots. Meanwhile, Yi Chunfeng was also forced back by the sharp leaves, dodging outside the area enveloped by the towering ancient tree. The five-colored roots condensed from the Chaos Divine would have actually been torn apart. The Chaos Divine Wood and the towering ancient tree clashed fiercely for an incense stick's worth of time. Yi Chunfeng was surprised to discover that the extremely tough five-colored roots of the Chaos Divine Wood that had taken root in the towering ancient tree had been torn apart by the dense Dao Wood leaves. This towering Dao Wood is so powerful that it actually tore apart the roots of the Chaos Divine Wood. Yi Chunfeng was shocked when he sensed that the roots of the Chaos Divine Wood had been torn apart. This was because in his memory, there was nothing that could tear apart the roots of the Chaos Divine Wood. Chaos Divine Wood, come back! Yi Chunfeng watched as the Chaos Divine Wood was devoured by the Dao with leaves that blotted out the sky. He did not hesitate to summon the Chaos Divine Wood back into his body. After the Chaos Divine Wood vanished, the towering ancient tree that had fused with the power of the Dao grounds gradually calmed down. The chaotic space gradually returned to normal. It looks like this method won't work. The power of the Chaos Divine Wood alone probably won't be able to devour this towering ancient tree that is fused with the power of the Dao grounds. Yi Chunfeng frowned. He looked at the sacred and inviolable towering ancient tree that had vanished into the night. He regulated his breathing as he tried to think of a solution. 2 days passed very quickly. The storm that swept through the entire space appeared once more, baptizing all things. Yi Chunfeng had no choice but to hide in the area enveloped by the towering ancient tree. Because it could not sense the aura of the Chaos Divine Wood, the towering ancient tree did not take the initiative to attack Yi Chunfeng. This allowed Yi Chunfeng to let out a long sigh of relief. Under its protection, he waited in silence for the storm to disperse. I wonder if I can forcefully tear apart the trunk of the ancient tree and let the Chaos Divine Wood break into it. Would it be possible to devour it from the inside? While waiting for the storm to disperse, Yi Chunfeng thought of a feasible method. Although this method was more dangerous, it was the only feasible method that Yi Chunfeng could think of at the moment. The storm in the Dao grounds dissipated after 2 days. At this moment, Yi Chunfeng summoned the two heavenly beasts and the sword puppet together. He was prepared to take this opportunity to split the towering ancient tree. Do it! The storm in the Dao grounds dissipated completely. Yi Chunfeng did not hesitate to burn his divine demon bloodline and transformed into his strongest divine demon body. He condensed 7 killing halos. Emperor Heaven Sword Technique, Emperor Heaven Sword. After activating all of his trump cards, Yi Chunfeng did not hesitate to burn the Emperor Sky Sword Spirit and fuse his many trump cards together. At close range, he slashed out the Emperor's Sky Sword that was filled with the Emperor's Qi and had extremely strong destructive power. Roar! Roar! The two heavenly beasts also exploded with their strongest strength the moment Yi Chunfeng attacked with all his might. Together with the sword puppet, they attacked the towering ancient tree trunk. Boom! 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 A series of deafening explosions rang out. The 4 powerful attacks blended together and tore apart the ancient tree trunk as easily as crushing dry weeds and smashing rotten wood, forcibly blasting open a huge gap. After being attacked, the ancient tree that had intelligence was instantly enraged. The tree crown that covered several miles shook violently. It continuously fused with the power of the Dao grounds and filled the leaves of the Dao grounds. It attacked Yi Chunfeng and wanted to tear him apart. Chaos Divine Wood, it's all up to you now. As the leaves of the Dao grounds attacked, Yi Chunfeng immediately summoned the Chaos Divine Wood and struck it into the crack on the tree trunk that was healing quickly. Following which, Yi Chunfeng teleported the two heavenly beasts back into the universe realm. Under the protection of the sword puppet, he quickly flew backward. Boom! 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 As Yi Chunfeng flew, the leaves of the Dao grounds, which were as sharp as knives, attacked the sword puppet densely, quickly consuming the energy in the sword puppet's body. Although Yi Chunfeng had the sword puppet's defense, there were too many leaves of the Dao grounds attacking him. His powerful body, which was comparable to a quasi-Dao treasure, was still injured by a large number of leaves of the Dao grounds. A large amount of blood flowed out and dyed his body red. Phew, what sharp leaves of the Dao grounds! When Yi Chunfeng saw that his body, which was comparable to a quasi-Dao treasure, was easily cut by the leaves of the Dao grounds, he could not help but be surprised by the sharpness of the leaves of the Dao grounds. After flying out of the area covered by the towering ancient tree, Yi Chunfeng immediately sat cross-legged on the ground and controlled the Chaos Divine Wood to extend a large number of 5-colored roots. They broke into the hard body of the towering ancient tree and crazily devoured the terrifying energy contained in the towering ancient tree. Once again, the Chaos Divine would devour the energy. The towering ancient tree was angry and continuously mobilized the power of the Dao grounds to merge into the tree body. The space centered on the towering ancient tree fell into chaos. As the towering ancient tree shook violently, cracks appeared in the space filled with the power of the Dao grounds. Through the cracks in space, the soul power, radiated by the God-Eater brain, felt the existence of a new space. 30/30709 mobile reading site. Book address. In order to facilitate your next reading, you can click on the Collect button below to record this reading record. You can see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 660. It seems that Hai Wudao's guess is right. This towering ancient tree is the only opportunity to leave this space. Again, the God-eating brain sensed the aura of a new space through a large number of space cracks. Yi Chunfeng showed a rare smile and continued to communicate with the Chaos Divine Wood, ordering it to devour the towering ancient tree with all its strength. Facing the crazy devouring of the Chaos Divine Wood, the resistance of the towering ancient tree became stronger and stronger. However, the Chaos Divine Wood was parasitic in its body, which greatly affected its attack. It could only control the powerful force of the Taoist field to crush the Chaos Divine Wood. Although the Chaos Divine Wood was only in the form of a young tree, it was one of the most powerful divine trees in the universe. The power of the Taoist field combined with the Taoist field could not crush it at all. However, under the crazy attack of the Taoist field, the difficulty of the Chaos Divine Wood's devouring was increasing. Time slowly passed as the two divine trees fought fiercely. No, I can't waste time like this. Otherwise, once the Taoist field storm appears, I'm afraid I'll be in danger without the towering ancient tree to block it. The devouring speed of the Chaos Divine would slow down. Yi Chunfeng quickly summoned the Suzaku Cauldron and the Scarlet Thunder Pearl, controlling the two Taoist treasures to attack the towering ancient tree and diverting its attack. Suzaku Cauldron, suppress. Thunder of Death, destroy. Yi Chunfeng spurted 2 mouthfuls of blood essence into the two Taoist treasures, activating the attack power of the two Taoist treasures, suppressing and attacking the towering ancient tree. Under the attack of the Suzaku Cauldron and the Scarlet Thunder Pearl, the towering ancient tree shook violently. A large number of sharp leaves fell off and flew toward the two Taoist treasures. Wrath of Divine Punishment. While the towering ancient tree was being diverted by the two Taoist treasures, Yi Chunfeng was multitasking. He controlled the 3 divine spirits to spurt out of his body, turning them into 3 colored energy balls, bombarding the towering ancient tree. Under the full attack of the two Taoist treasures and the wrath of divine punishment, the power of the towering ancient tree was greatly dispersed. Seizing this opportunity, the Chaos Divine Wood increased its devouring power, continuously devouring the majestic energy contained in the towering ancient tree. About a day or so, the Chaos Divine Wood, which was devouring crazily, grew a little taller. 205 colored leaves condensed on the tree crown, and the tree gave birth to 36 streaks of chaotic power. Chaos Force Attack. A tremendous amount of chaotic force was produced. Yi Chunfeng immediately controlled 16 streams of chaotic force to attack the thick trunk of the towering tree. He forcibly tore several cracks in the tree that was filled with the power of the Tao field. The towering ancient tree was heavily damaged by the chaos force, and the power that crushed the Chaos Divine would weaken further. As for the Chaos Divine Wood, it devoured a large amount of energy, and the power it contained grew stronger and stronger. Slowly, the towering ancient tree, which was nearly 100 meters tall, began to wither. Large patches of withered branches were crushed under the attacks of the 2 great Tao treasures and the wrath of divine retribution. Very quickly, 2 days passed. However, because the towering ancient tree had fused with a large amount of the power of the Taoist field, the Taoist field storm that swept through the entire space did not appear on time. This made Yi Chunfeng breathe a long sigh of relief. He continued to control the 2 great Taoist treasures to attack, severely damaging the towering ancient tree and forcibly weakening its power to buy time. Chaos Energy Attack. The Chaos Divine Wood devoured a large amount of energy and produced dozens of streams of chaotic force. At this time, Yi Chunfeng controlled the streams of chaotic force to attack the towering ancient tree. He continued to tear its trunk, causing huge cracks to appear on the huge treetop. Finally, after nearly 4 days of frenzied devouring, the energy contained in the towering ancient tree was almost completely devoured by the Chaos Divine Wood. The luxuriant treetop completely withered, and the huge trunk was also riddled with holes by the chaos force. Rumble! The towering ancient tree broke, and the huge trunk smashed heavily on the ground. The power of the Tao field that enveloped the space was weakened to the extreme. Seizing this opportunity, Yi Chunfeng summoned the Chaos Divine Wood that had transformed into a small tree and grown thousands of 5-colored leaves into his body. His entire body swept into the air, cutting through the dark space. Soul of Vermilion Bird, burn! With a thought, Yi Chunfeng forcibly burned the soul of Vermilion Bird and raised the power of Vermilion Bird Cauldron to the peak. Like a scorching meteor, he crashed into the cracked space wall with all his strength. Boom! Without the power of the Tao field, The cracked space wall couldn't withstand the full force of the vermilion bird cauldron and was directly smashed through. Yi Chun-feng followed closely behind the vermilion bird cauldron and flew out of this dark space, passing through the void and entering a mustard seed space. What rich spiritual energy! After flying into the second mustard seed space, Yi Chun-feng discovered that this space was completely different from the dark space. This space was as bright as day, and the spiritual energy was extremely rich. A vast sea of clouds floated in the azure sky. A cheerful stream flowed through the lush green grass, and a variety of spiritual trees of various shapes condensed into fruits that made people drool. The picturesque scene was like a real fairyland. What a beautiful place! I didn't expect these two spaces to be two extremes. One is death, the other is life. Smelling the rich spiritual energy and looking at the beautiful scenery in front of him, Yi Chun-feng decided to cultivate here for a period of time and break through to the 6th grade Defiant Beast King realm. If he could break through to the 6th grade Defiant Beast King realm and cultivate the Heavenly Demon Rope, the 7th move of the 7 Sword of Judgment, the Tao of Water, and the 58 strands of chaotic energy produced by the Chaos Divine Wood, he would be able to severely injure Mo, Feng Yun, and destroy the Western Devil Sect. This was because this fairy-like space was filled with a large number of precious spiritual fruits. Before Yi Chun-feng went into seclusion to cultivate, he summoned the spirit fish with a special physique and let her eat the fruits here to cultivate. Looking at the bright red fruits that contained powerful spiritual energy, the spirit fish's beautiful big eyes immediately curved into the shape of a crescent moon. She ran over excitedly, plucked the spiritual fruits, and happily swallowed them into her stomach. Golden Dragon Bloodlion, Chaos Divine Beast, protect me. Yi Chun-feng glanced at the spirit fish's cheerful back and smiled faintly. He summoned the 2 heavenly beasts to protect him as he began to fuse with the majestic energy that the Chaos Divine Wood had devoured. The energy that the towering ancient tree contained was so powerful that it transformed the Chaos Divine Wood from a seedling into a small tree, which had the initial offensive power. If the Chaos Divine would continue to transform and grow, it would become Yi Chun-feng's natal magic treasure and his greatest trump card. Boom! The energy that contained powerful Tao intent gushed out from the Chaos Divine Wood and rushed into Yi Chun-feng's 8 meridians like a broken dam. It forcibly opened all the meridians and blood vessels in his body, causing immense pain to spread throughout his body. Strands of bright red blood flowed out of his open pores and dyed his entire body red. However, Yi Chun-feng had a strong martial Tao heart and an unyielding heart. The tearing pain did not affect him in the slightest. He endured the immense pain that came from his body and circulated the soul-devouring tactic at a high speed to refine the majestic Tao intent energy and improve his strength bit by bit. The heaven and earth spiritual energy within a radius of a few miles was attracted by the high-speed circulation of the soul-devouring tactic. It was like thousands of soldiers and horses were attracted to him, causing the weather to change and forming a huge energy vortex above Yi Chun-feng's head. It madly fused into his body and swallowed him directly. Time also passed quickly in Yi Chun-feng's seclusion in a hollow state. 30/30709 mobile reading site. Book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 661. A level 5 Beast King needed a terrifying amount of energy to break through to the level 6 Beast King level. There were too many people in the Duhan continent who were stuck at this level, unable to take this step. Hashtag. On the other hand, the amount of energy Yi Chun-feng needed to break through to the next level was much more than the average Battle Beast Emperor expert. Even if the Chaos Divine would kept pouring pure Tao intent energy into his body, he wouldn't be able to break through to the 6th level of Defiant Beast King realm in a short time. This closed-door cultivation was the longest closed-door cultivation in his life, and it was also an extremely important closed-door cultivation. While Yi Qinfeng was in seclusion in this picturesque space, Mo Fengyan had returned to the West Devil sect after narrowly escaping from the Azure Heaven region. He began a long period of seclusion to fuse with the great fortuitous encounters Mo Qianxin had obtained in the Dragon Abyss. He stimulated the power of his devil heart and tried to break through to the fourth-class Beast Emperor realm. Once Mo Fengyan broke through to the level 4 Beast King level, he would be able to raise the level of the West Demon sect by himself and become one of the 8 great saintlands. In the blink of an eye, 9 months had passed. All of a sudden, deafening beastly roars rang out in the silent spiritual chi space. In the past 9 months, the spiritual fish had devoured a large number of spiritual treasures of heaven and earth, and had completed their metamorphosis once again. They were beginning to break through to the 6th grade Defiant Beast King realm. Wow, that little girl is really amazing. It's only been 9 months, and she's about to complete her second transformation. This cultivation speed is really terrifying. Looking at the spiritual fish that had transformed into the golden-eyed divine ape and was roaring at the sky, the divine beast of chaos couldn't help but sigh. Yeah, this spiritual fish's talent is too terrifying. I wonder if she can stimulate the second bloodline in her body this time. The Jinxing dragon blood lion lazily crawled on the green grass and looked at the spirit fish in the distance as it mutated. It's difficult. The divine beast of chaos shook his head and said, "If I'm not mistaken, the second bloodline hidden in the spiritual fish's body should be a king bloodline of a very high level. In order to activate the king bloodline, she would have to cultivate to the divine saint realm and have a lot of accumulation." As the 2 heavenly beasts were talking, the spiritual fish's transformation was coming to an end. Her physical strength had also reached a terrifying 20 million gene. But at this moment, a large number of black clouds suddenly appeared in the blue sky, rushing in from all directions like a surging tide. Yeah, tribulation clouds. Why would there be tribulation clouds here? Could it be that the spiritual fish evolved into a 6th grade Defiant Beast Emperor and attracted divine punishment? The Chaos Divine Beast and Jinxing Dragon Blood Lion widened their eyes in shock as they looked at the dark clouds in the sky and sensed the destructive power in them. Normally, only phenomena that went beyond the common sense of the world would attract heavenly punishment. They couldn't imagine why a spiritual fish breaking through to become a 6th grade Beast King would attract heavenly punishment. That's not right. This heavenly punishment isn't directed at the spiritual fish. It's directed by the Master. Sensing that the power released by the black tribulation cloud was not targeting the spiritual fish, but Yi Qinfeng, who was being swallowed by the spirit energy vortex, the Jinxing dragon blood lion cried out in alarm. It seems that the ancient tree that the primal chaos divine would devoured is not simple. Otherwise, when Boss fused with that ancient tree's power, he would not have attracted the heavenly punishment. Looking at the black tribulation clouds above their heads that were growing thicker and thicker, the 2 heavenly beasts immediately retreated far away. At the same time, the spiritual fish that had devoured a large number of spiritual items completed its final transformation and broke through to become a 6th grade Defiant Beast King. Will Big Brother Qinfeng be all right? Looking at Yi Qinfeng, who was shrouded by the tribulation clouds, the spiritual fish that had returned to its human form asked the 2 heavenly beasts softly with concern in its eyes. "Don't worry. Your Big Brother Qinfeng's life is tough. A mere divine punishment won't kill him." Although the power of the heavenly punishment was extremely great, and there were too many people who had fallen under the heavenly punishment throughout history, the divine beast of chaos knew how deep Yi Qinfeng's foundation was, and was not worried about him. The black tribulation clouds in the sky were getting thicker and thicker. When it reached a height of 100 feet, a black hurricane was released from the tribulation clouds and swept towards Yi Qinfeng, who was sitting cross-legged on the ground without moving an inch, attacking his body. Large patches of spiritual plants and rocks were destroyed by the black hurricane. However, Yi Qinfeng's body was comparable to a supreme celestial artifact and was not affected at all. Divine punishment. I didn't expect to attract divine punishment when I'm breaking through to become a 6th-grade defiant beast king. Yi Qinfeng was full of energy and was on the verge of breaking through. He had a feeling that he would not feel good if he did not vent it out. He revealed an arrogant smile and opened his eyes that were as deep as the sea. He looked at the tribulation clouds that were crazily accumulating energy in the sky. In the next moment, Yi Qinfeng suddenly stood up and swept across the sky. Like a divine sword that could split the heavens and earth, he rushed into the tribulation clouds that contained the destructive power of divine punishment. My goodness, boss is indeed boss. He actually rushed into the tribulation clouds and challenged the divine punishment. The chaos divine beast knew how dangerous it was to rush into the tribulation clouds and accept the baptism of divine punishment. However, Yi Qinfeng dared to face the divine punishment directly. It was enough to show that he was confident in his own strength. Boom! 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 The divine punishment was provoked by Yi Qinfeng and went berserk. A series of earth-shattering explosions rang out in the tribulation clouds that were hundreds of feet high, swallowing all the sound in the air. Countless amounts of divine punishment quickly gathered and surged toward Yi Qinfeng like a violent tide. It wanted to swallow and destroy him. Facing the power of the heavenly punishment coming from all directions, Yi Qinfeng was not afraid at all. He was like an invincible god of war, using his flesh and blood to resist the attacks of the heavenly punishment, receiving the deepest level of baptism. Boom! 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 Yi Qinfeng's fists moved the heavens and the earth. He stepped on the sky and constantly tore apart the divine punishment's power. A large amount of the divine punishment's power that entered his pores was refined by the highly circulated soul-devouring art and turned into the purest energy. The destructive power of divine punishment was fatal, but the benefits of overcoming divine punishment were also obvious. After the baptism of divine punishment, both the physical body and the soul would be sublimated. To Yi Qinfeng, who'd fused with a large amount of Wood Dao inside energy, the benefits were obvious. With the help of the baptism of divine punishment, Yi Qinfeng was completely capable of fusing the Dao inside energy in his body with the Dao insights he'd comprehended to improve the strength of his Dao insights. First level of the fire Dao insight, third level of the lightning Dao insight, second level of the life Dao insight, third level of the death Dao insight, fifth level of the illusion Dao insight, besides the heaven Dao and sword Dao. All the other Dao insights that Yi Qinfeng had comprehended had improved complacently, especially the illusion Dao insight. It had even improved to the fifth level. The terrifying divine punishment bombarded Yi Qinfeng for over 2 hours, yet was unable to heavily injure him. Instead, a large amount of the divine punishment's energy was refined by him, and this completely infuriated the laws of the heavens and the earth. The tribulation clouds that were hundreds of feet high started to revolve swiftly as a divine punishment energy that caused the heavens and the earth to change swiftly condensed to form an enormous ball of divine punishment. Rumble. The ball of divine punishment smashed down. The space couldn't withstand the destructive energy of the ball of divine punishment, and a large area of distortion appeared. The terrifying energy brought about a fatal threat to Yi Qinfeng. Fiend God Bloodline Ignition, Dark Extreme Dao. Looking at the ball of divine punishment that was crushing the space and attacking him, Yi Qinfeng instantly transformed into his Fiend God body and fused several Dao insights together to form the Dark Extreme energy that was like a violent dragon. He blasted it forward and detonated the ball of divine punishment. Bang! A large area of distortion appeared in the tribulation clouds that were hundreds of feet away. The boundless destructive energy swept through the entire sky and ruthlessly smashed onto Yi Qinfeng's body, shattering his defenses and smashing him to the ground from midair. After suffering the final blow of divine punishment, not only did Yi Qinfeng not die from the collapse of his physical body, but he also borrowed the most fatal energy of divine punishment to break through the bottleneck and break through to the 6th level of Defiant Beast King in one go. 30/30709 mobile reading website. Book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Collect button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 662. Breakthrough. I've finally broken through to the level 6 Defiant Beast King realm. 77777776F647474772E63636F6D. Inch Yi Chen Feng, who was covered in blood, climbed out of the pit. He looked at the rapidly dispersing tribulation clouds in the sky and smiled faintly. Due to the baptism of heaven's punishment, when he broke through, Yi Chen Feng had completely refined the power of Tao Wood. His cultivation foundation had become more solid and unfathomable. He didn't need to consolidate his foundation to stabilize his level 6 Defiant Beast King realm. Roar! Roar! Boss, you're indeed a monster. At this moment, the Chaos Divine Beast, Jin Xing Dragon Bloodlion, and Ling Yu came to Yi Chen Feng's side. Sensing the destructive power in his body, the Chaos Divine Beast roared excitedly. Dragon Bloodlion, transform into your battle form. Let's have a competition. After receiving the power of God's punishment and breaking through to the level 6 Defiant Beast King realm, Yi Chen Feng's physical strength had increased tremendously. It had reached an astonishing 20 million gene of strength. He couldn't wait to test his true strength. All right, Jin Xing Dragon Bloodline agreed without hesitation. He transformed into his strongest battle form and started a fight with Yi Chen Feng in the gradually calming space. In order to test his true strength, Yi Chen Feng didn't use his Tao intent. He only integrated with the two-headed Blood Dragon King and relied on his powerful physical strength to fight with Jin Xing Dragon Bloodline. Boom, boom, boom. A man and a lion fought fiercely against each other. Every time they collided, every time they clashed, a shocking shockwave would be created. The rocks and ground around the two of them exploded. Countless water ripples spread out with them as the center. Awesome, awesome. Yi Chen Feng and Jin Xing Dragon Bloodlion fought fiercely for more than 2 hours. Neither of them could do anything to the other. However, once Yi Chen Feng used his trump card and transformed into his God-fiend body, even if Jin Xing Dragon Bloodlion burned its 2 great bloodlines, it wouldn't be able to withstand Yi Chen Feng's fierce attacks. Yi Chen Feng's current strength was enough to challenge Mo Fengyan. Brother Qing Feng, can I have a competition with you? Ling Yu's beautiful eyes were burning with fighting spirit. She looked at Yi Chen Feng and asked eagerly. Of course. Looking at the spiritual fish that had transformed into a Class 6 Defiant Beast King, Yi Chen Feng also wanted to know her true strength, so he agreed without hesitation. Big Brother Qing Feng, I have a lot of strength now. You have to be careful. The spirit fish reminded him sweetly. A violent and tyrannical aura gushed out from her petite body. She stomped on the ground and smashed her tiny fists towards Yi Chen Feng. Boom! Their fists collided with each other, and a blinding light burst out from their fists. 20 million gene of force. The spirit fish actually has the same strength as me. Yi Chen Feng's heart was in turmoil as he was shocked by the spiritual fish's terrifying physical strength. Just as Yi Chen Feng was still in shock, the spirit fish took a strange step and suddenly disappeared in front of Yi Chen Feng, leaving behind an afterimage. What a fast speed! Sensing the danger behind him, Yi Chen Feng did not panic. With a flash of lightning under his feet, he dodged the attack of the spiritual fish like a zigzag bolt of lightning. Hee, Big Brother Qing Feng, be careful. 8 divine ape shadows. The moment Yi Chen Feng dodged, the spirit fish pursed its lips and smiled. Using the divine ape clan's inherited skill, it caught up with Yi Chen Feng in an instant. It wanted to use its speed to suppress Yi Chen Feng's attack. But after the baptism of heaven's punishment and breaking through to the Class 6 Defiant Beast King realm, Yi Chen Feng's strength had undergone a qualitative change. His attack power had become extremely terrifying. He stepped on the lightning flash and fought the spiritual fish with speed. It was an intense battle. Boss has picked up a treasure this time. That spirit fish is already so strong before transforming into a divine ape. How strong would she be after transforming into a divine ape? It seems like I have to raise my strength as soon as possible and rebuild my body. Otherwise, I'm afraid my strength will be at the bottom. Witnessing the powerful combat power of the spirit fish, the divine beast of chaos who had lost his physical body and could only attack with his voice, muttered to himself. However, it wasn't easy for him to restore his physical body. Other than raising his strength to an extremely high level, he also needed a great opportunity. Spirit fish, transform into a divine ape. Let me see your strongest strength. After the intense battle, Yi Chunfeng shouted at the spirit fish whose face was flushed red and who had exhausted a lot of energy. All right, the spirit fish nodded her little head. She instantly ignited the power of her bloodline and transformed into a golden-eyed divine ape. Waves of violent energy exuded from her body. As she punched out, Yi Chunfeng could clearly feel the space around him tremble. The powerful chi flow in the air surged into the spirit fish's fist, imperceptibly increasing the power of her punch. Feeling the power of the spirit fish's punch, Yi Chunfeng immediately took a step forward. His foot sank into the ground as he compressed his strength to the extreme and punched out. Boom! When the two fists collided, the fist radiance on the surface of Yi Chunfeng's fist shattered. The powerful impact caused Yi Chunfeng's arm to go numb. His entire body was pushed back uncontrollably, leaving behind more than 10 deep footprints on the ground. 35 million gene of strength. When the spirit fish transformed into a divine ape, her explosive attack is almost at the level of a divine demon. After experiencing the power of the spirit fish's transformation into a divine ape, Yi Chunfeng couldn't help but be shocked. All right, spirit fish, let's end the battle here. Yi Chunfeng shook his numb arm and suggested loudly. All right. After saying that, the spirit fish suppressed the surging power of her bloodline and returned to her cute appearance. Spirit fish, you really didn't disappoint me. With your transformed strength, you should be able to fight against a level 3 combat beast emperor. Yi Chunfeng revealed a faint smile and said, but I know that there is still a huge gap between my strength and Big Brother Chingfeng's. Although she managed to push Yi Chunfeng back with a punch, the spirit fish knew that once Yi Chunfeng used his trump card, she would be the one to lose. Cultivate well. Let's walk to the peak of the martial Tao together. Yi Chunfeng gently stroked the spirit fish's head and said dotingly, all right, spirit fish. There's still many spiritual fruits in this space. You can continue to eat them and cultivate. I'm going to continue cultivating too. Yi Chunfeng said softly. He wanted to spend some more time to properly comprehend the various Tao skills and the Tao inside of water in order to further increase his strength. The spirit fish nodded. In a flash, it dashed towards a spiritual mountain with rare fruits growing on it. Yi Chunfeng sat cross-legged on the ground and adjusted his breathing for a while. He then started to cultivate the 7th move of the 7 Sword of Judgment and comprehend the 20 water Tao patterns in the God Eater's brain. Soon, more than 5 months passed. In these 5 months, with the help of the God Eater's brain, Yi Chunfeng not only grasped 20 water Tao patterns and cultivated his water Tao intent to the 2nd level, but he also grasped the 7th move of the 7 Sword of Judgment and the 1st move of the 3 absolutes of water prohibition, illusory shark water shadow. However, as Yi Chunfeng did not have the foundation of the demonic art, he was unable to comprehend the heavenly demon ghost chains and heavenly demon dance of all directions. He was also unable to grasp the 3rd move of the Emperor Heavenly Sword Art, which was also the most powerful move, the Emperor's Shocking Slash. However, Yi Chunfeng was not discouraged. He believed that with his talent and the God Eater's powerful deduction ability, he would be able to grasp the 3 Tao skills in no time. It has been 1 year and 2 months. It is time to come out of seclusion and take revenge on Mo Fengyan. After calculating the time, Yi Chunfeng stopped his seclusion and stretched his body. He teleported the two heavenly beasts and the spirit fish back to the universe realm and took most of the spiritual items in the space. He then forcefully tore open the tough space wall and flew away. 30/30709 mobile reading website. Book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 663. Early in the morning, rays of gentle sunlight penetrated through the sea of clouds and sprinkled over the boundless inland sea, rippling waves of light. #Yen. In this inland sea, there were many islands that looked like stars. And these islands of different sizes and shapes were the Star Islands where the Western Demon Sect was located. At this time, the entire Western Demon Sect was jubilant and lively. Because of Yi Chunfeng's death, Mo Fengyun was enlightened. After a year of seclusion, he fused with the opportunity Mo Qianxin brought back from the Dragon Abyss, as well as the energy contained in the Demon Heart, and broke through the bottleneck shackles, breaking through to the fourth-class Beast Emperor realm. After breaking through, Mo Fengyun's ambition swelled to the limit. He couldn't wait to announce to the entire Dawn continent that the Western Demon Sect had become one of the 8 Great Lands. Look, it's the Blue Lawn. The people of the number 1 faction in the southern continent, Myriad Beast Mountain, are here. An ear-piercing bird cry suddenly resounded in the blue sky. Several large birds with long tails and covered in green feathers streaked across the sky like divine vermilion birds. They flew over an extremely fast speed. I didn't expect that the banquet of our Western Demon Sect becoming one of the 8 Great Lands would even have people from Myriad Beast Mountain coming to congratulate us. Originally, the 10,000 Beast Mountain was indeed a bit stronger than our Western Devil Sect. However, things are different now. Sect Master has broken through to the 4th grade Beast Emperor realm and can sweep away the 10,000 Beast Mountain by himself. How could they not come to congratulate him? Not to mention Myriad Beast Mountain, I heard that the Eastern Continent's Yu family will also send people to congratulate us. It won't be long before our Western Demon Sect becomes an existence like the Yu family, respected by millions of people. Looking at the blue lawn flying over at an extremely fast speed, the disciples of the Western Demon Sect showed a proud expression and flattered themselves. Haha, Brother Fengyun, congratulations. A tall and sturdy middle-aged man, wearing a black robe made of animal skin and exuding a powerful oppressive aura, led a group of experts from the 10,000 Beast Mountain to the White Jade Plaza of the Western Devil Sect. Seeing the proud Mo Fengyun, he immediately stepped forward and congratulated him. Brother Lai-Yun, please forgive me for not coming out to meet you. Seeing that Shou Lai-Yun, the sect master of the 10,000 Beast Mountain, who is the number 1 force in the southern continent, had personally brought the experts of the 10,000 Beast Mountain over. The smile on Mo Fengyun's face grew wider. He immediately stepped forward to exchange pleasantries. Brother Fengyun, it hasn't even been 2 years, and you've already broken through 2 realms, reaching the 4th grade battle Beast Emperor realm. You've raised the Western Devil Sect to one of the 8 great holy lands in one fell swoop. This kind of achievement is truly unprecedented. With this kind of achievement, you'll definitely be able to step onto the peak of the Duhan continent in the future. The 10,000 Beast Mountain's Lord, Shou Lai-Yun, loudly praised. Thank you for your kind words. Mo Fengyun replied with a smile. Successfully breaking through to the level 4 Beast Emperor realm had indeed inflated his ambition to the limit. He believed that as long as his strength increased further, he would be able to retrieve Yi Chunfeng's relics from the Azure Heaven domain and find a way to subdue that fire Qilin. Not only would he be able to stand at the peak of the Duhan continent, he would also be able to ascend to the vaster Heaven domain and pursue the Supreme Tao. The Yu family's 2nd elder, 3rd elder, and great guardian have arrived. At this time, 2 powerful dragon roars resounded. The experts of the Yu family rode their black Jiao dragons and arrived at the Western Devil Sect, to personally congratulate Mo Fengyan. Brother Fengyan, you're busy. We won't disturb you any longer. Seeing that the Yu family had sent 3 super experts to congratulate Mo Fengyan, Shou Liuyun couldn't help but reveal a trace of envy. All right, Mo Fengyan nodded and said, Qianli, bring Brother Liuyun and the others to the hall to rest. Following the arrival of the Yu family's experts, the atmosphere in the Western Devil sect was pushed to a climax. The faces of the Western Devil sect's disciples were filled with pride and arrogance as they looked at the disciples of the other major forces. Devil Sect Master, I didn't expect that after not seeing you for a year, you've broken through again. I'm truly envious. Yu Qinyuan, who was wearing a white robe, said calmly as he sat in the Western Devil Sect hall and drank a mouthful of fragrant tea. The reason why the Yu family sent 3 elders here was not to congratulate Mo Fengyan, but because they suspected that Yi Chanfeng had died in his hands. Furthermore, everything Yi Chanfeng had been taken away by him. Therefore, they wanted to negotiate with him and get him to hand over some of Yi Chanfeng's treasures. I was just lucky. The cunning Mo Fengyan had already guessed the purpose of the Yu family's visit. However, after breaking through to the 4th grade Beast Emperor realm, he no longer feared and relied on the Yu family like before. And if he wanted to reach the peak of the martial path, the Yu family was a huge mountain that he had to cross. Devil Sect Master, let's not beat around the bush. Today, other than congratulating you, we also have an important matter to discuss with you. The second elder of the Yu family, Yu Shiyu, was dressed in a dark blue robe and had white hair. His body was emitting a thick, killing intent, giving off a ferocious feeling. He was 1 step away from becoming a level 4 Beast Emperor. Second Elder, please speak. Mo Fengyan sat motionlessly on the chair. His expression was so calm that no one could see through his thoughts. Sect Master Mo, for you to be able to break through to the 4th grade Beast Emperor realm so quickly, was it because you had fused with the heaven-bestowed genius Yi Qinfeng's many fortuitous encounters? Yu Shiyu took a sip of tea and went straight to the point. That Yi Qinfeng had indeed died in my hands. However, his corpse was swallowed by the spatial crack in the Tiansong region. Therefore, I did not manage to obtain everything he had. The reason why I could break through so quickly was all thanks to that demon heart. Mo Fengyan explained slowly. Swallowed by the spatial crack. How could that be so coincidental? Yu Shiyu and the others did not believe Mo Fengyan's words. He continued, Devil Sect Master, that Yi Chanfeng had a close relationship with our Yu family's young mistress, Yu Nikhang. Our Yu family does not want much. We only want to take back the few keepsakes that our young mistress left for Yi Chanfeng. When Yu Qinyuan and the others brought back what happened in Longyuan Sacred City to the Yu family, it caused a huge commotion in the Yu family. The current head of the Yu family even found out about Yi Chanfeng's identity from the grieving Yu Nikhang. He wanted to use Yu Nikhang as an excuse to ask for Yi Chanfeng's belongings. Second Elder, Fengyan can swear to the heavens that I really did not obtain Yi Chanfeng's corpse. His corpse really fell into the spatial crack in the Tiansong region. Mo Fengyan swore solemnly. Sai, Devil Sect Master, although I believe you, the head of the family doesn't. Yu Shiyu and Yu Qinyuan quickly communicated through telepathy. Yu Qinyuan sighed softly and said, Furthermore, the head of the family recently arranged a marriage for young Mistress Nikhang. He wants to betroth her to the East Sea Palace's second young master, Hai Sanjian. However, young mistress rejected Yi Chanfeng, which gave the head of the family quite a headache. Therefore, the head of the family wants to take back the keepsakes that young mistress left on Yi Chanfeng to stop her from thinking about him. Third Elder, if I can help, I will definitely do it. However, it is true that I did not obtain Yi Chanfeng's belongings. How about this? When young mistress Nikhang gets married, I will personally go to the Yu family and explain this to the head of the Yu family. Mo Fengyan said in a neither haughty nor humble manner. All right then. Hearing Mo Fengyan's flawless explanation, Yu Shiyu and Yu Qinyuan knew that it was meaningless to continue asking. The banquet is ready. Let's eat and talk at the same time. Mo Fengyun invited with a smile as he looked at the three people with uncertain expressions on their faces. Just as the Western Devil Sect celebratory banquet was about to begin and all the major powers were celebrating, a tall and straight man, wearing a white robe with a calm expression, brought along a cute little girl with a rosy face who was wearing a small floral gown. They rode on an ordinary spirit bird and followed a small sect of the Western continent to the central island of the Western Devil Sect. This man and woman were none other than Yi Chanfeng and Ling Yu, who had changed their identities and left the Azure Heaven region by close call. P.S. For those who want to see Ling Yu's picture, add WeChat's public number, Ely 83. It will be posted on Sunday. 30/30709 mobile reading website. Book address. In order to make it easier for you to read next time, you can click Save at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 664. 222789496. Go to the small? It's so lively here. I wonder what happened in the West Devil Sect. Riding on the spirit bird, Yi Chenfeng and Ling Yu arrive at the edge of the West Devil Sect. They discover that the West Devil Sect was decorated with lanterns and color banners. It was very lively. An endless stream of guests was walking towards the West Devil Sect along a road paved with white jade. Hold it. Do you have an invitation? Yi Chenfeng held on to Ling Yu's soft hand. When they arrived at the entrance of the West Devil Sect, they were stopped by two disciples who questioned them in an arrogant tone. Hearing the questioning of the two West Devil Sect disciples, Yi Fengxian's deep eyes immediately shot out illusion Dao insight into the eyes of the two disciples, instantly confusing their consciousness and causing them to lose their sense of self. Following that, Yi Chenfeng held onto Ling Yu's hand and walked into the West Devil Sect under the astonished gazes of the crowd. So Mo Fengyun has broken through to the rank 4 combat Beast Emperor realm. Today is the banquet of the West Devil Sect becoming an 8th grade sacred land. While walking towards the West Devil Sect, Yi Chenfeng released the soul power in his mind and collected a large amount of important information. He knew what was going to happen in the West Devil Sect. Mo Fengyun, you are indeed a troublesome opponent. I didn't expect you to have also broken through in this 1 year. Yi Chenfeng frowned slightly, feeling a little troubled. However, since he was already here, he wouldn't shrink back. Even if he couldn't defeat Mo Fengyun in the end, with his current strength and methods, it was almost impossible for Mo Fengyun to kill him. Moreover, he wanted to destroy the West Devil Sect on this joyous occasion and crush Mo Fengyun's ambition, turning him into a laughingstock. Following the bustling crowd, Yi Chenfeng and Ling Yu arrived at the West Devil Sect's white jade paved plaza. They saw a huge battle stage. Two powerful disciples were fighting intensely, adding some excitement to the banquet. Yi Chenfeng recognized one of them. He was the number 1 genius of the heavenly Silkworm Ridge, Ziyun. The one fighting with Ziyun was the genius disciple of the southern continent's myriad beast mountain, a rank 5 reverse beast king, Shou Bingtian. Senior brother Ziyun, do your best. Defeat him and spread the might of the West Continent. Senior brother Ziyun will definitely win. At this time, the battle between the two had reached its climax. Shouts and cheers were mixed together. It was very lively. It seems like the West Devil Sect's younger generation really doesn't have anyone else. Ziyun is actually representing the West Devil Sect to fight against the disciples of the Southern Great Road's 10,000 Beast Mountain. Yi Chenfeng revealed a faint smile as he watched Ziyun execute the heavenly silkworm transformation and use his purple saber to send out sharp saber lights at full power. Black withered vine bind. Neither of them was willing to give way to the other. After fighting fiercely for the time it took to burn an incense stick, a black withered vine suddenly drilled out of Ziyun's arm. It was like a spirit snake coming out of its hole. It unexpectedly wrapped around Shou Bingtian's strong body in an instant. Another time and space, the rise of China. It's over. After successfully entangling Shou Bingtian, Ziyun let out a roar. Billowing soul power and Dao, intent fused into the purple broadsword in his hand. He slashed at Shou Bingtian with mountain-splitting momentum, wanting to defeat him in one go. Not necessarily. A fierce light flashed in Shou Bingtian's eyes. A ferocious beast roar suddenly rang out. At the critical moment, Shou Bingtian summoned his contracted beast, a 5-meter-tall violent bear, its entire body covered in thick fur. It was a level 6 heavenly beast, and it pounced towards Ziyun with a murderous aura. A level 6 heavenly beast was comparable to a level 6 reverse beast king expert. Coupled with the violent bear's terrifying offensive and defensive abilities and bloodline power, it blocked Ziyun's killing blow. Then, the violent bear rose from the ground and pounced at Ziyun with a shocking destructive power. When Ziyun used his movement technique to dodge the fierce pounce of violent bear, Shou Bingtian broke free from the black withered vines and launched a series of powerful punches at Ziyun. Under the double attack of Shou Bingtian and the violent bear, Ziyun's attack was completely suppressed. In the end, he was hit by Shou Bingtian's Dao technique. He spat out a mouthful of blood and fell out of the arena, losing the battle. Who else? After defeating Ziyun with the help of the beast-taming technique, Shou Bingtian showed a proud smile. He raised his hands and looked down at the Western Land disciples who had ugly expressions and shouted arrogantly. Damn, one arrogant guy. Master asked me to smash his head. He Shirtuji looked at the arrogant Shou Bingtian. He clenched his fists and said angrily, Well, let's end this quickly. Don't weaken the prestige of the Western Land. Demon Taoist's eyes revealed a trace of ruthlessness as he nodded and said. However, before He Shirtuji entered the arena, a petite figure suddenly appeared in the arena and stood in front of the arrogant and despotic Shou Bingtian. This petite figure was Ling Yu, the one who came to make trouble for Yi Chenfeng. Well, where did this little girl come from? Is there really no one else in the Western Land? Why did you send a little girl to die? Shou Bingtian frowned slightly. He looked at the petite and cute Ling Yu and sneered loudly. Big guy, if I can't defeat you in 3 punches, it'll be my loss. The spirit fish's beautiful eyes were burning with fighting spirit as it said provocatively. As soon as Ling Yu's words fell, it caused an uproar. Many pairs of surprised eyes looked at Ling Yu, wondering where she got her confidence from. Damn it, you're courting death. The arrogant Shou Bingtian was completely enraged by Ling Yu's contempt. Dense killing intent exuded from his body as he roared and launched an attack at Ling Yu. His terrifying fist blended with a powerful explosive force as he tried to crush Ling Yu's petite body. Bang! Revenge of the President. The murderous Shou Bingtian threw a punch at Ling Yu. Ling Yu didn't flinch. She took a step forward and a terrifying force erupted from her petite body. She waved her small fist to meet the punch. The 2 fists, one big and one small, collided. Ling Yu's fist immediately exploded with 20 million Jin of force. It shattered Shou Bingtian's fist radiance and surged into his arm. Kacha! A crisp cracking sound was heard. Shou Bingtian couldn't withstand the 20 million Jin of force from Ling Yu's fist. The bones in his arm were directly broken. The white bones pierced through his skin and were exposed to the air. Shou Bingtian cried out in pain. After breaking Shou Bingtian's arm with one punch, Ling Yu followed up with another attack. His fist, which was filled with 20 million Jin of force, landed on Shou Bingtian's chest. Shou Bingtian's chest caved in and was blown away, leaving behind a cloud of blood in the air. Shou Bingtian fell out of the arena and lost the battle. Ayo! 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 Seeing its master being sent flying by Ling Yu, Violent Bear immediately went berserk. It opened its bloody mouth and pounced on Ling Yu. Boom! Another loud sound was heard. Ling Yu's fist smashed Violent Bear's attack like breaking rotten wood. It landed on its huge body and sent it flying again. Oh my god, where did this little girl come from? Why is she so fierce? I don't know her. This is my first time seeing her. But since she's so hostile to Wan Shou Mountain, she should be from the Western continent. Haha, let's see how arrogant Wan Shou Mountain is. They're in trouble now. Witnessing Ling Yu sending Shou, Bing Tian, and Violent Bear flying with 3 punches, the spectators were all shocked by her strength and started discussing. But the next moment, Ling Yu's words caused an uproar. Mo Fengyun, I heard that you've broken through to level 4 Beast Emperor. Do you dare to come out and fight with me? Mobile reading website. Book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the bookmark button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 665. 222-78497. Go to Little? What? Did I hear wrongly? That little girl wants to challenge Sect Master Mo. Damn, this is too crazy. A little girl who is still wet behind the ears wants to challenge the #1 person in the Western mainland. Am I dreaming? Go to Little. Hearing the spiritual fish's clamor, the arena that had just quieted down was instantly stirred up. Many pairs of surprised, angry, and confused eyes were directed at her. Many people were even guessing her origin. How dare you? Sect Master Mo is not someone you can challenge. The Sect Master of Dark Evil Grotto, Black Wind Evil King, glanced at Mo Fengyun, who was calmly drinking his wine. Rolling his eyes, he stood up abruptly and shouted, What? You want to fight me on behalf of Mo Fengyun? The mischievous spiritual fish put her hands on her hips and looked at the Black Wind Evil King fearlessly. If you want to die, I will fulfill your wish. The Black Wind Evil King, who had just broken through to the half-step combat Beast Emperor realm, was completely enraged by the spiritual fish's arrogance. Now was the best time to surrender to Mo Fengyun, so he did not hesitate to attack. Spiritual fish, end this quickly. Yi Qianfeng transmitted his voice and instructed. His deep eyes kept glancing at Mo Fengyun, Yu Shiyu, Shou Laiyun, and the others to prevent them from launching a sneak attack. As long as they did not attack, the spiritual fish's strength was enough to wipe out all the major forces in the Western mainland. White Bone Demonic Art. As soon as the battle began, the Black Wind Evil King unleashed his killer move. His powerful soul power and Tao will fuse together and transformed into 10 white bone soldiers. They held ghost weapons in their hands and surrounded the spiritual fish. Besieged by the ghost soldiers, the spiritual fish let out a roar. Her petite body emitted a shocking, oppressive aura. Dense water ripples appeared in the air and bombarded the white bone soldiers, making them unable to get close to her. 8 divine ape shadows. The spiritual fish unleashed a powerful force and repelled the white bone soldiers. Her body flashed slightly and turned into a flash of light and flew out. Star-picking fist. Flying out of the encirclement, the spiritual fish channeled all her strength into her right fist like a tidal wave. Then, she punched at the white bone soldiers who were charging at her with their ghost soldiers. A fist of light that seemed to be holding a star shot out. With unparalleled explosive power, it ruthlessly smashed towards the 10 skeleton soldiers, directly crushing them into pieces and disappearing into the world. What? When the Black Wind Evil King saw that the spiritual fish had broken the white bone demonic art in one move, he raised his eyebrows and revealed a look of horror. Male teacher of female student. Just as he continued to urge the white bone demon technique to attack, the spirit fish stepped on the 8 divine ape shadows and suddenly disappeared before his eyes. Not good. Sensing the danger behind him, the Black Wind Evil King was shocked. A white bone staff that was close to the level of a high-grade heaven artifact appeared in his hand, and he stabbed it behind him with irresistible force. Seeing that the white bone staff that was shining with a white light pierced the chest of the spiritual fish behind him, the spiritual fish revealed a smile. Her body flashed and disappeared before his eyes again. In the next moment, the Black Wind Evil King, who could not react in time, felt a small hand full of strength choking his neck. A force beyond his imagination broke into his body, causing him to lose control of his body temporarily. Boom! In an instant, the spiritual fish exploded with 20 million pounds of strength. choking the Black-Wind Evil King's neck and forcefully pulling him up. With a beautiful shoulder throw, the Black-Wind Evil King fell to the ground with a loud sound of vibration. When the Black-Wind Evil King fell to the ground and struggled to get up, the spiritual fish jumped and directly rode on the Black-Wind Evil King's body. Her small fist that was full of strength smashed onto the Black-Wind Evil King's head, knocking him out. He lay on the ground like a dead dog, motionless. Who else? The spiritual fish kicked the Black-Wind Evil King, who was bleeding from his head and had fainted away. With her hands on her hips, she valiantly provoked him in a loud voice. Valiant, too valiant. Where did this little girl come from? She actually beat up the Black-Wind Evil King so badly. I didn't expect someone to come and cause trouble during the Western Devil Sect promotion to an 8th grade Saint Land. I'm afraid something big is going to happen today. Witnessing the scene of the spiritual fish trampling the Black-Wind Evil King, everyone present was stunned and started to guess her identity. Devil Sect Master, is that little girl your enemy? Yushiyu took a sip of the wine in his cup and looked at the cute and powerful spiritual fish as he slowly asked. Enemy? Mo Fengyun frowned slightly. He quickly searched his memory, but he could not recall the origin of the spiritual fish. Sect Master, let me teach her a lesson and force out her backer. Mo Qianli looked at the spiritual fish fiercely and transmitted a message to Mo Fengyun. All right. Mo Fengyun's eyes flashed with killing intent. Kill her for me. Whoosh! An ear-piercing sound pierced through the air. Mo Qianli stepped into the air and left an afterimage in the air as he landed on the fighting ring. He looked at the spiritual fish fiercely and said in a gloomy voice, Little girl, you've got guts to come and cause trouble on my Western Devil Sect's big day. If you don't want to die, tell me who sent you here. Otherwise, I'll make you regret being born in this world. If you want to fight, then let's fight. Cut the crap. As the spiritual fish spoke, she took a step forward and took the initiative to attack Mo Qianli with a strong oppressive aura. Different time and space, China rises again. Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. Mo Qianli shouted as the upper-grade heaven weapon, Illusory Saber, appeared in his hand. The saber cut through the air and slashed at the spiritual fish. 8 divine ape shadows. As the illusory saber radiance slashed down, the spiritual fish shook her body and instantly transformed into several afterimages. She dodged the attack and closed in on Mo Qianli. Roar! Then, a beastly roar that made Mo Qianli's soul tremble was released from the spiritual fish's petite body and bombarded Mo Qianli at close range. Due to his carelessness, Mo Qianli was hit by the roar released by the spiritual fish. His soul trembled and his reaction was delayed. Star-plucking fist. Seizing this fleeting opportunity, the spiritual fish compressed all the energy in her body to the extreme and blasted out a destructive star-plucking fist. It shattered the layers of air and bombarded Mo Qianli's chest. Crack! The middle-grade heaven weapon combat armor that Mo Qianli was wearing was shattered by the terrifying star-plucking fist. The crisp sound of bones breaking could be heard. Mo Qianli, who was a first-grade beast emperor, was sent flying by the spiritual fish's punch. A large amount of blood spurted out from his mouth as his body slammed heavily on the ground. What? Witnessing the scene of Mo Qianli being severely injured by the spiritual fish, everyone present was dumbfounded and had an incredulous expression on their faces. Even Mo Fengyun was no longer as calm as he was at the beginning. The muscles at the corner of his eyes twitched and his face darkened. Little girl, I'm going to kill you. Mo Qianli quickly consumed a heaven-class soul elixir and suppressed the injury on his chest. Like an enraged lion, he crawled up from the ground and transformed into his strongest beast soul form. He launched a thunderous attack at the spiritual fish, intending to kill her with all his might. Swish! Suddenly, an ear-piercing sound pierced through the air in the chaotic square. A sword light that was a mixture of 60 sword Dao patterns Death Dao patterns and Thunder Dao patterns tore through the air like a flying meteor and attacked Mo Qianli without any warning. Oh no! The appearance of this sword light was too sudden. Mo Qianli, who was in a rage, sensed the intense danger of death. However, it was too late to dodge. He could only defend with all his might. However, just as he raised his upper-grade heaven weapon, the Void Illusion Saber, the sword light pierced through the Void Illusion Saber like a hot knife through butter. In the next moment, Mo Qianli's eyes widened. Under his horrified gaze, this strange sword light pierced through his head and crushed his soul, killing him on the spot. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the bookmark button at the bottom to record this reading. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 666. Dead. Great Elder Mo Qianli is dead. Witnessing Mo Qianli's head exploding and his body falling into a pool of blood, the noisy square turned silent. Pairs of dazed eyes were fixed on Mo Qianli's body, making them feel like they were in a dream. Who is it? Come out. Mo Fengyun was furious. He had never expected that someone would come to disturb him on the day he broke through to level 4 combat Beast Emperor and announced his breakthrough to the world. Not only that, the person even killed Mo Qianli in front of everyone, which was a slap to his face. If he couldn't kill his enemy and avenge Mo Qianli, the reputation he had worked so hard to build would be greatly affected. He would become the laughing stock of the Duhan continent. You don't want to come out? Then I'll kill her. Let's see if you'll come out. Mo Fengyun's deep eyes were filled with murderous intent. The Tao of Darkness and Tao of Shadow merged together to form a giant shadow hand. It carried a suffocating power as it smashed the air and pressed down on the spiritual fish. Whoosh! As the giant shadow hand pressed down, the ear-piercing sound of the air being torn apart was heard again. The sword light that killed Mo Qianli appeared again and tore the giant shadow hand apart at a speed that was hard to be seen by the naked eye. In the next moment, a blurry figure flashed in the air and appeared in the arena like a bolt of lightning, blocking in front of the spiritual fish. Mo Fengyun, you're really regressing. How could you disregard your status and attack a little girl? Don't you know what shame is? Yi Qinfeng stood with his hands behind his back and lectured in an overbearing manner. Who are you? Looking at Yi Qinfeng's illusory figure and sensing the strong sword intent emitted from his body, a familiar figure appeared in Mo Fengyun's mind. He frowned and asked in a cold voice, Mo Fengyun, have you forgotten about me so quickly? Yi Qinfeng sneered and reverted to his real voice. You are Yi Qinfeng. You didn't die. Hearing Yi Qinfeng's familiar voice, Mo Fengyun confirmed his identity and revealed a look of astonishment. He was astonished that not only had Yi Qinfeng survived the spatial rift, but he had also broken through to become a grade 6 reverse beast king. That's right, it's me. As he spoke, Yi Qinfeng dispersed the illusory Tao insight and transformed into his true form with the spirit fish. Yi Qinfeng, it's really him. Seeing Yi Qinfeng reveal his true form, many people couldn't help but cry out in surprise. The 3 experts of the Yu family immediately looked at Mo Fengyun, who had a gloomy expression on his face. I'm rather curious as to who is so bold as to come to my Western Devil sect and cause trouble today. Mo Fengyun looked coldly at Yi Qinfeng and said eerily, I didn't manage to kill you the last time. Today, I'll definitely tear you into pieces. Mo Fengyun, things are different now. Since I dare to come here when you are breaking through to become a grade 4 combat Beast Emperor, I'm naturally not afraid of you. Yi Qinfeng laughed heartily and said boldly, It seems like you have obtained some opportunities in the Vast Heaven region. However, no matter how powerful you are, you can't leave here alive today. Mo Fengyun could no longer control the anger in his heart. With a roar, he summoned the sky demonic Tao soldier and attacked Yi Qinfeng. Spirit fish, come back. As Mo Fengyun attacked, Yi Qinfeng didn't hesitate to send the spirit fish into the heaven and earth mirror and faced him with the Emperor's Sky Sword. Bam! When the two Dao soldiers clashed, more than 20 million pounds of force surged out from the Emperor's Sky Sword and resisted the attack of the Sky Demonic Dao soldier. How did his strength increase by so much? After facing the attack head-on, Mo Fengyun's expression changed when he felt the explosive strength of Yi Qinfeng's attack. He couldn't believe that Yi Qinfeng's strength had surpassed his by so much. This Yi Qinfeng must be killed. Mo Fengyun gritted his teeth and released the power of the demon heart. It instantly entered his body and pushed his strength to increase. Beast soul form. After fusing with the power of the demon heart, Mo Fengyun immediately transformed into his strongest beast soul form. With the Sky Demonic Dao soldier in hand, he launched his strongest attack at Yi Qinfeng and was determined to kill him. Dragon's Bloodline, Ignite. Mo Fengyun attacked like a tidal wave. Without hesitation, Yi Qinfeng ignited his dragon's bloodline and transformed into his beast soul form, increasing his soul power by 4 times. Boom! 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 There were deafening explosions as Yi Qinfeng and Mo Fengyun clashed in midair with frightening strength. The destructive force surged in midair and caused the White Cloud Plaza to tremble violently. Cracks started to spread rapidly. What terrifying fighting strength! That Yi Qinfeng is already able to release such powerful attacks when he is only a Class 6 Defiant Beast King. If he breaks through to the Combat Beast Emperor realm, he will be even more powerful. Seeing that Yi Qinfeng wasn't at a disadvantage in the battle with Mo Fengyun, the 3 top experts of the Yu family were deeply shocked. Second Elder, should we help Mo Fengyun get rid of that brat? Yu Qinyuan asked with a gloomy face. Let's wait for a while. It won't be too late for us to make a move when both sides are injured, Yu Shiyu said with flickering eyes. Tower Master, do you think Sect Master Mo can kill Yi Qinfeng? Shadow looked at Yi Qinfeng with a complicated gaze as he softly asked Guyu beside him. Yi Qinfeng isn't a fool. He must have something to rely on since he dares to appear when Sect Master Mo is breaking through to the Class 4 Combat Beast Emperor realm. The West Demon Sect is in trouble now. If they can't kill Yi Qinfeng, they will become the laughingstock of the Duhan continent, even if they become a rank 8 Holy Land. Guyu looked at Yi Qinfeng, who was growing rapidly, and sighed softly. Myriad transformations, Black Lotus. In the intense battle, the Tao of darkness in Mo Fengyun's body burst out and instantly formed a demonic black lotus that bloomed slowly. Chaotic energy break. The moment the myriad transformations Black Lotus was formed, Yi Qinfeng blasted out 8 streaks of chaotic energy. They penetrated the myriad transformations Black Lotus and bombarded Mo Fengyun. When Mo Fengyun controlled the Tao of darkness to block the chaotic energy, the myriad transformations Black Lotus that was penetrated by the chaotic energy exploded and engulfed him instantly. 7 Swords of Adjudication. Following which, Yi Qinfeng wielded the Emperor's Sky Sword and slashed out the last sword of the 7 Swords of Adjudication. It was like the Milky Way in the starry sky. It carried the adjudication will and tore the space apart and slashed towards Mo Fengyun. What a terrifying sword! Feeling the adjudication will and adjudication will of the adjudication sword, the spectators who were hiding in the distance trembled and found it difficult to breathe. The disciples of the West Demon Sect started to worry for Mo Fengyun. Once Mo Fengyun was defeated, the West Demon Sect would be doomed. Wong. The moment the 7 Swords of Adjudication slashed apart the destructive storm, a terrifying sword radiance pierced through the sky and shattered the adjudication sword, blocking Yi Qinfeng's killing blow. This is Demon Saint Cold Knight's strongest move, Sky Demon Dance of all directions. Mo Fengyun has actually comprehended this move. Yi Qinfeng raised his eyebrows and revealed a shocked expression. He was shocked that the demon heart actually hid the supreme grade Dao skill, Sky Demon Dance of all directions. He was even more shocked that Mo Fengyun had actually comprehended it. Yi Qinfeng, you are really surprising me more and more. In the face of such great strength, you still managed to injure me and force me to use my strongest move. Mo Fengyun, whose chest was injured by the primal chaos force, appeared in the air with his long black hair fluttering in the wind. He looked at Yi Chunfeng coldly and said, "However, this is my territory. No matter how capable you are, you can forget about leaving here alive." As he spoke, Mo Fengyun activated the defensive array that enveloped the West Demon Sect and sealed off Yi Chunfeng's escape route. Mobile reading website. Book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the bookmark button at the bottom to record your reading history. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 667. Mo Fengyun, I didn't expect you to have comprehended Devil Sage Cold Knight's supreme grade Dao technique. It seems like your harvest in the Dragon Abyss is no less than mine. Yi Chunfeng didn't panic when the defensive array was activated. However, Mo Fengyun had comprehended Heavenly Demon Dance, which posed a fatal threat to him. Supreme grade Dao technique. Hearing Yi Chunfeng's words, Shou Liuyun and the others' eyes lit up. They were the three experts of the Yu family. Supreme grade Dao techniques could be said to be the most powerful inheritance in their knowledge. They had the power to destroy the heavens and earth and cut off rivers. Although the Yu family was a veteran 8th grade sacred ground and an overlord of the Eastern continent, they didn't have any supreme grade Dao techniques in their family inheritance. If they could obtain a supreme grade Dao technique, the Yu family's overall strength would most likely surpass the East Sea Palace and become the strongest force in the Eastern continent. They would even have the opportunity to develop into a 9th grade divine nation. Yi Chunfeng, you actually know the truth of this move. Mo Fengyun frowned slightly and said in surprise. Yi Chunfeng had publicly revealed the grade of Heavenly Demon Dance, which directly pushed him to the edge. Even if he killed Yi Chunfeng in the end, he wouldn't be able to escape from the Yu family's entanglement. Why? Are you surprised? Yi Chunfeng sneered and instantly ignited his fiend god bloodline, transforming into the strongest fiend god physique. Yes, a second transformation. Second Elder, what's the origin of that person? Yi Chunfeng's beast soul transformation as a 6th grade reverse beast king was already beyond Shou Liuyun's imagination. Now that he had completed a second transformation and transformed into the fiend god physique, everyone from the myriad beast mountain fell into a daze. It was as if they had seen a ghost. He seems to be a rogue cultivator. Yu Shiyu felt a sense of absurdity when he thought of the words he got from Moon Raiment. It was because even in the Yu family, they were unable to find a young man as outstanding as Yi Chunfeng. Furthermore, the good fortune he had caused the Yu family to be envious. Rogue cultivator. Shou Liuyun and the others looked at each other and saw the shock and disbelief in each other's eyes. Die! When Yi Chunfeng transformed into his fiend god body, Mo Fengyun flashed and approached him as if he had teleported. He waved the heavenly fiend Dao weapon and slashed out layers of saber light that were stronger than the previous one. They were like surging waves that slashed towards Yi Chunfeng. Yi Chunfeng didn't dare to waste his primal chaos energy because the three experts from the Yu family were eyeing him covetously. He quickly executed the mysterious underworld extreme technique. Several attack will gushed out of his body, turning into a dragon-like extreme mystic force. It twisted the space and crashed heavily into the layers of saber light. After devouring the Dao insight contained within the Dao wood and undergoing the baptism of the heavenly tribulation, Yi Chunfeng's comprehension of Dao insights had deepened, and the might of his dark underworld extreme Dao had become even greater. Boom! When the terrifying extreme mystic force blasted onto the overlapping devil sabers, there were boundless sparks. Numerous devil saber shadows couldn't withstand the attack of the extreme mystic force and were shattered. However, Mo Fengyun's strength was much stronger than Yi Chunfeng's. The overlapping devil saber shadows that he slashed out eventually shattered the extreme mystic force and slashed towards Yi Chunfeng. 40 million pounds of strength break. Seeing that the overlapping saber lights might didn't diminish, Yi Qinfeng instantly increased his physical strength to the maximum. He stabbed forward with the Empyrean Heaven Sword and made use of the Empyrean Heaven Sword's powerful offensive strength and absolute strength to break Mo Fengyun's attack. At the next moment, Yi Qinfeng ignited his golden rock bloodline and increased his speed to the maximum. He took the initiative to attack Mo Fengyun. Sword radiance that was as fast as lightning pierced through the sky and continuously attacked Mo Fengyun's body with ear-piercing sounds. As Yi Qinfeng's attack speed was too fast, no one could see the attack trajectory clearly. They could only see the white radiance ripping the air apart and enveloping Mo Fengyun. Heavenly demon dance in all directions. Mo Fengyun didn't retreat when he was attacked by Yi Qinfeng's extreme saber light. He quickly integrated the power of the Devil's Heart and forcefully executed his strongest killer move. Sword radiance slashed in all directions and continuously shattered the saber light that was as fast as lightning. Unity of man and weapon. After his attack was broken, Yi Qinfeng did a somersault and transformed into the Sword of Judgment. He pierced through the sky and stabbed towards Mo Fengyun's chest. As the Sword of Judgment was too powerful, it took away the brilliance of heaven and earth. It was as though this divine sword that could judge life and death was the only thing left in the world. Bam! The two divine weapons once again slashed together. Boundless energy was like a blooming peony flower blooming in midair. The terrifying recoil force crazily attacked the two of them, aggravating their injuries. Relying on his physical body that was comparable to a quasi-Dao treasure, Yi Qinfeng withstood the impact and increased his attack speed to the maximum again. He attacked Mo Fengyun continuously and wanted to use his absolute speed to suppress him. Fast, accurate, and ruthless, Yi Qinfeng exerted his understanding of sword principle to the maximum. His sword chi was like a tide, continuous and endless. Mo Fengyun also exerted his saber principle will to the maximum. The ferocious saber light engulfed the tsunami-like sword shadow. For a moment, the whole void was filled with saber light and sword shadow, dazzling everyone. He's too strong. That Yi Qinfeng's strength is too terrifying. He's actually able to fight head-on with the Devil Sect Master without being at a disadvantage. Regardless of the outcome today, his name will spread throughout the Western continent. Yes, I have never seen such a monstrous figure. If he doesn't die today, even if the Western Devil Sect becomes an 8th-rank Holy Land, it will inevitably be destroyed. After witnessing the shocking battle between Yi Qinfeng and Mo Fengyun, the disciples of the major forces who came to congratulate the Western Devil Sect were deeply shocked. Many of them even showed a gloating expression. Second Elder, when are we going to strike? If we let Yi Qinfeng escape today, it will be difficult to kill him in the future. My Yu family might also suffer from his revenge. Yu Qinyuan did not expect Yi Qinfeng's strength to increase to such an extent in just a year. He asked with a serious tone. Since Yi Qinfeng dares to create trouble today, he must have something to rely on. Let's wait for a while more and strike when he is injured. We don't want to be injured by his trump card. The shrewd Yu Shiyu transmitted a message to Yu Qinfeng. Rely on. Yu Qinyuan raised his eyebrows as he recalled that Yi Qinfeng's 2 level 8 heavenly beasts, contract beast, and sword puppet had yet to appear. 1. Yi Qinfeng and Mo Fengyun clashed intensely for thousands of rounds. Yi Qinfeng, whose attacks were completely suppressed by Mo Fengyun, continued to change his moves. Numerous great Dao intents surged into the Empyrean celestial sword and swept up a dazzling sword shadow. It was like a huge roaring dragon as it slashed towards Mo Fengyun. 8 directions combined. As the dragon-like sword radiance approached, Mo Fengyun's body exploded with overwhelming demonic aura. The 8 ultimate sword radiances split into the sky demon Dao soldiers and instantly fused together to form a giant blade that could split the heavens and earth. After slashing through the dragon-like sword radiance, the remaining power continued to slash towards Yi Qinfeng. Not good. Mo Fingyun's attack was too fast. It was so fast that Yi Chunfeng had no time to dodge. He could only infuse 40 million points of strength into the Emperor's Sky Sword and unleash a powerful attack to block the attack. Boom! There was a deafening explosion that reverberated throughout the heavens and earth. After taking on Mo Fingyun's strongest attack head-on, Yi Chunfeng felt an unimaginable amount of sword prowess entering his body. He lost control of his body for a short period of time and spat out a mouthful of blood in mid-air before falling to the ground. In a shocking battle with Mo Fingyun, Yi Chunfeng was injured. P.S. Monday update 5 mobile reading website. Book address. In order to make it easier for you to read next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 668. 22294942. Phew, he's injured. Yi Chunfeng is finally injured. If Sect Master can kill him, the reputation of our Western Devil Sect will definitely reach the peak. Seeing Yi Chunfeng being severely injured by Mo Fingyun and falling to the ground, the disciples of the Western Devil Sect heaved a sigh of relief and became excited. Yi Chunfeng, go to hell. 8 directions combined / The moment Yi Chunfeng was injured and fell to the ground, Mo Fingyun slashed out his strongest attack again. 8 ultimate saber lights merged together and tore the space apart, slashing into the pit where Yi Chunfeng fell. It's over. Yi Chunfeng is powerless to reverse the situation. Seeing that Yi Chunfeng had fallen to the ground, a huge chasm was created by Mo Fingyun's ultimate saber light. Many people thought that Yi Chunfeng was powerless to reverse the situation and would definitely die. 7 Swords of Judgment, Annihilation. However, at this moment, a sword light that could annihilate space tore open the pit that was filled with destructive power, leaving a deep sword mark in the void and slashing towards Mo Fingyun at an extremely fast speed. In the next moment, Yi Chunfeng kept the sword puppet back into the cosmos realm. Then, he leaped into the air and continued to attack Mo Fingyun. What do you mean he's fine? I didn't see wrongly, did I? That Yi Chunfeng was actually completely fine after being hit by the Devil Sect Master's strongest attack. That Yi Chunfeng is a monster. Seeing that Yi Chunfeng was unscathed, the experts of the various major forces were deeply shocked. They couldn't figure out how Yi Chunfeng could be so monstrous. Great Demon, slaying Dragon Blade. 10 directions, Sky Demon slash. After dodging the destructive sword light, Mo Fingyun held the Sky Demon Dao weapon in his hand and continuously used powerful Dao techniques to attack Yi Chunfeng. He suppressed his attacks and aggravated his injuries. The two of them fought fiercely in the air for more than 10 breaths of time. Yi Chunfeng was once again injured by the Devil Wind and fell to the ground. However, when Mo Fingyun unleashed a destructive attack on Yi Chunfeng, he was blocked by the sword puppet that Yi Chunfeng summoned. He was unable to kill Yi Chunfeng. Second Elder, Third Elder, Great Guardian, let's work together to kill Yi Chunfeng and split his fortune equally. Even Mo Fingyun felt helpless against the indestructible sword puppet. He had no choice but to join forces with Yu Shiyu and the others to kill Yi Chunfeng. All right, Yu Shiyu looked at Yi Chunfeng, who was covered in blood from the repeated heavy blows, and felt that the time was ripe. He immediately surrounded Yi Chunfeng with Third Elder Yu Qinyuan and Great Protector Yu Cangying. When the three of them besieged Yi Chunfeng, Mo Fingyun summoned the Scarlet Blood Heavenly Bat over, preparing to gather everyone's strength to kill Yi Chunfeng. The Legend of the Great Desert. Jinqing Dragon Blood Lion, Chaos Divine Beast, Spiritual Fish, come out and help me. Yi Chunfeng, who was besieged by Yu Shiyu and the others, immediately summoned the 2 heavenly beasts and the spiritual fish to help him fend off the enemies. Divine Ape Body. When the spiritual fish saw that Yi Chunfeng was in danger, it ignited its bloodline power without hesitation. Its petite body grew bigger and bigger until it became a 5-meter-tall, golden-eyed divine ape that was emitting violent energy. It charged towards the level 3 combat beast emperor Yutsongyang. When the spiritual fish transformed, the Jinshin dragon bloodlion also transformed into its half-human, half-beast combat form. Its strength increased tremendously. It held the supreme grade heavenly spear and attacked the scarlet blood heavenly bat. Transformation. That little girl and the lion can transform. Why is Yi Chunfeng surrounded by monsters? When the spiritual fish and the golden clear dragon blood lion changed their forms, the onlookers exclaimed, "Euro, our Stygian sect might have missed the best opportunity to rise." Looking at the spiritual fish who had transformed into the golden-eyed divine ape, Shui Honghen, who was hiding in the crowd, sighed softly. "Sigh. We can only blame ourselves for being short-sighted. We actually gave away such a demon." Shui Yura, who was wearing a dark purple low-cut dress, had a pair of towering breasts, and had delicate skin. She exuded a charming charm. She sighed softly and looked at Yi Chunfeng and the spiritual fish with a complicated gaze. Heaven is merciless. Stygian Extreme Tao. When Yi Chunfeng was besieged by Mo Fengyun and Yu Xiu, the pressure on him increased. He had to control his Tao will to defend himself. However, their attacks were too ferocious. Gradually, Yi Chunfeng's attacks were suppressed, and he was in danger. "Don't fight. Let's leave this place first." Yi Chunfeng had underestimated Mo Fengyun's strength. He did not expect Mo Fengyun to have cultivated demon Saint Lung Ye's strongest inheritance to the minor completion realm. He wanted to retreat and leave this place decisively. "Well, Yi Chunfeng, do you think you can leave?" When Mo Fengyun saw Yi Chunfeng's intention to leave, he revealed a hideous smile and increased the intensity of his attacks. He did not believe that Yi Chunfeng could leave this place alive under the protection of the protective array of the Western Demon Sect. Wrath of Divine Punishment. The two heavenly beasts and the spiritual fish flashed to Yi Chunfeng's side to defend against Mo Fengyun's ferocious attacks. Yi Chunfeng controlled the three heavenly spirits to spurt out their bodies and turn them into tricolored energy balls. They crushed the void and bombarded Mo Fengyun and the rest. Boom! The tricolored energy balls exploded when they were attacked by Mo Fengyun and the rest. They set off huge waves in the void and instantly engulfed Mo Fengyun and the rest. Space Swallowing Bug, it's up to you now. Break this formation quickly. When Mo Fengyun and the rest were attacked by the wrath of divine punishment, Yi Chunfeng appeared under the protective array in a flash. He summoned the Space Swallowing Bug and ordered it to devour the formation wall. Male teacher of female student. "Leave it to me." The Space Swallowing Bug revealed its razor-sharp teeth and bit the extremely tough formation wall. In an instant, cracks appeared on the formation wall. What kind of bug is that?" Mo Fengyun and the rest were shocked when they saw the Space Swallowing Bug devouring the formation wall. They tore apart the destructive storm and rushed toward Yi Chunfeng. Wrath of Divine Punishment. When Mo Fengyun and the rest attacked, Yi Chunfeng continued to attack them with the wrath of divine punishment to delay them as much as possible. Heavenly Demon Dance. After being attacked by the wrath of divine punishment, the three experts of the Yu family transformed into their beast souls and summoned three terrifying demonic shadows. They danced in the sky and tore apart the destructive storm. Heavenly Demon Dance in all directions. The destructive storm was torn apart by the three of them. Mo Fengyun sped up and approached Yi Chunfeng. He continued to attack him with his most powerful killer move. Sword Puppet, block it. Although Mo Fengyun had only cultivated the Heavenly Demon Dance in all directions to the small success stage, it was still a supreme grade Dao skill. Its power was extremely terrifying. Coupled with the amplification of the Heavenly Demon Dao soldiers, Yi Chunfeng, who was severely injured and exhausted, did not take the attack head-on. Instead, he summoned the Sword Puppet to block it. At this moment, under the Space Swallowing Bug's devouring speed, the impregnable protective array was torn apart by the Space Swallowing Bug. "Come back. The space-swallowing bug had successfully broken the protective array of the West Demon Sect. Yi Chen-feng immediately sent the three heavenly beasts and the spiritual fish back to the Qinquan realm and wanted to escape. Where do you think you're going? Seeing the huge gap in the protective array, Mo Fengyun's expression changed slightly. He attacked with all his might. When Mo Fengyun approached Yi Chen-feng and continued to attack, Yi Chen-feng summoned the Suzaku Cauldron to suppress the space and limit Mo Fengyun's speed. Then, 10 streaks of chaotic energy shot out of Yi Chen-feng's body and bombarded Mo Fengyun at close range. Although Mo Fengyun had been on guard against the chaotic energy, he was still hit by several streaks of chaotic energy. They broke through his defense and injured him. Mo Fengyun, I'll take your head the next time we meet. Yi Chen-feng glanced at Mo Fengyun, who had been injured by the primal chaos and was bleeding profusely. He let out an arrogant roar and ignited the Golden Rock's bloodline. He directly flew out of the gap in the formation wall and left the chaotic West Demon Sect under the dumbfounded gazes of countless people. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click the Save button at the bottom to record your reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 669. 22294943. Yi Chen-feng, where do you think you're going? Seeing Yi Chen-feng escaping from encirclement, Mo Fengyun was so angry that his lungs almost exploded. He didn't hesitate to burn his blood essence and chased after Yi Chen-feng with the scarlet blood heavenly bat. Yu Shiyu and the other two also increased their speed to the peak and chased after Yi Chen-feng with all their strength. They were determined to kill him and seize the great opportunity on him. He escaped. Even after being surrounded by so many experts, Yi Chen-feng still managed to escape. That Yi Chen-feng truly has too many trump cards. Such a frightening formation of the Western Demon Sect was actually so easily destroyed by the insect he summoned. It seems that he has made thorough preparations before coming here. Seeing Yi Chen-feng break out of the encirclement at the last moment, almost everyone present was stunned by his heaven-defying methods. Sect Master, should we help Mo Fengyun chase after that person and do him a favor? An elder of the 10,000 Beast Mountain transmitted his voice to Shou Laiyun, whose expression was unsettled and his heart couldn't calm down for a long time. Chase after that person. Did your head get squeezed by a door? Do you want my 10,000 Beast Mountain to follow in Mo Fengyun's footsteps? If I'm not wrong, Mo Fengyun and the rest will definitely fail in the end. And wait for that person to come again. The West Devil Sect might be destroyed because of him. I don't even have time to hide from that fiend, but you actually took the initiative to provoke him. What are you all standing there for? Follow me back to the 10,000 Beast Mountain. Seeing the West Devil Sect in a mess, Shou Laiyun, who was shocked and secretly delighted, didn't stay for long. He quickly led the disciples of the 10,000 Beast Mountain and left the chaotic West Devil Sect. When Shou Laiyun and the rest left, some forces that didn't have a good relationship with the West Devil Sect, but had submitted to Mo Fengyun's threat, also left one after another. The West Devil Sect that was bustling with noise and excitement suddenly became cold and cheerless. Yi Chen-feng killed his way out of the West Devil Sect and immediately flew towards the northwest of the West Devil Sect. He quickly flew over the Azure Sea and flew into a lush forest not far from the sea. He suddenly landed in the forest and sat cross-legged on the ground to adjust his breathing and recover his consumed soul power. In merely 10 breaths of time, Mo Fengyun, Yu Shiyu, and the other two had caught up to Yi Chen-feng, who was sitting cross-legged in the middle of the forest. Yi Chen-feng, why aren't you running anymore? Mo Fengyun released the soul power in his mind and didn't find any danger in this bush. He frowned and couldn't figure out why Yi Chen-feng suddenly gave up on escaping. Fengyun and Mo, what do you think of the scenery here? Yi Chen-feng opened his tightly shut eyes and revealed a faint smile as he looked at Mo Fengyun and the others, pretending to be mysterious. Mo Fengyun and the others frowned slightly. They noticed something was wrong from Yi Qinfeng's calm expression. They wanted to attack together and capture him. Crazy character, don't be nervous. I just want you to enjoy the scenery here. As he spoke, a formation core stone appeared in Yi Qinfeng's hand. When he crushed the formation core stone, close to 10,000 illusory runes appeared in the bush and instantly enveloped Mo, Fengyun, and the others. This trap array hidden in the bush was a backup plan that Yi Qinfeng had set up in advance just in case. He didn't expect to actually use it. Mo, Fengyun, after enjoying the scenery here, remember to look for me at the West Devil Sect. I will wait for you there. After speaking, Yi Qinfeng mysteriously disappeared from the trap array and flew towards the West Devil Sect at an extremely fast speed. Yi Qinfeng, if I don't kill you, I swear I'm not human. Never in his wildest dreams would Mo Fengyun have imagined that he would fall into Yi Qinfeng's trap once again. He was so angry that he raised his head and roared. What the hell? Boom, boom, boom. A series of deafening explosions resounded. Thinking of the consequences of Yi Qinfeng killing his way back to the West Devil Sect, Mo Fengyun felt like vomiting blood. He held the Sky Devil Dao soldier and attacked crazily. He wanted to forcefully tear apart the trap array and return to the West Devil Sect to help. However, Yi Qinfeng had fused with the inheritance of runes in the God Devourer's brain. His attainment in runes was extremely high. The trap array that trapped Mo Fengyun and the others was set up by Yi Qinfeng in 3 days. Its defense was extremely strong. For a moment, the trap array didn't show any signs of breaking apart other than trembling violently under the frenzied attacks of Mo Fengyun and the others. At this moment, Yi Qinfeng had already returned to the sky above the West Devil Sect at an extremely fast speed. Due to the departure of the myriad Beast Mountain and the others, as well as the fact that Yi Qinfeng dared to return under the pursuit of Mo Fengyun and the others, the West Devil Sect closed the island's protective array. Yi Qinfeng easily flew into the sky above the West Devil Sect. That figure is Yi Qinfeng. That fiend is back. When the disciples of the West Devil Sect who were cleaning up the mess saw Yi Qinfeng return, they were scared out of their wits. The entire West Devil Sect instantly fell into chaos. Soul Search. Yi Qinfeng flashed and appeared beside a level 5 defiant Beast King of the West Devil Sect. He easily injured him and used the power of the God Devourer's brain to forcefully search his soul. Soul Devourer Art Devour. After obtaining the information he wanted, Yi Qinfeng immediately used the Soul Devourer Art to devour the Elder's spiritual beast and end his life. Jin Qing Dragon Bloodlion. Destroy the West Devil Sect for me. Yi Qinfeng left the Jin Qing Dragon Bloodlion behind to destroy the West Devil Sect. With a flash, he flew towards the West Devil Sect's treasury. Who is it? 2 gray-robed old men who had guarded the treasury of the West Demon Sect for several decades suddenly sensed that the restriction outside the treasury had been forcefully torn apart. They immediately opened their eyes and yelled out, "Who are you?" "The one who killed you. The legend of the Great Desert." Yi Qinfeng never showed mercy to his enemies. Without waiting for the 2 gray-robed elders to attack, 60 sword Dao patterns gushed out of his body and turned into 2 lightning-fast sword lights that pierced towards them. Oh no! Sensing the terrifying power of Yi Qinfeng's attack, the 2 gray-robed elders' faces changed drastically. They immediately dodged without thinking. However, the moment they dodged, they discovered that a huge flaming cauldron with destructive power had appeared above their heads. It released an overwhelming suppressive force that suppressed their bodies. Then, a scarlet thunder bead that released the power of death appeared beside them. It released endless violent thunder of death that shattered their bodies and killed them on the spot. Vermilion Burr Cauldron, Scarlet Thunder Bead, break for me. Yi Qinfeng took out the 2 great Dao treasures and killed the 2 gray-robed old men guarding the treasury. Then, he immediately controlled the 2 great supreme treasures to crash into the door of the treasury, shattering it in one move and entering. 2 heaven crystals. After entering the treasury of the West Devil Sect, Yi Qinfeng immediately released the soul spirit in his mind. Among the large number of treasures, he found 2 low-grade heaven crystals, hundreds of thousands of top-grade soul crystals, tens of thousands of high-grade soul crystals, and countless mid-grade soul crystals. After fusing with these 2 low-grade heaven crystals and so many top-grade soul crystals, the sword puppet should be able to unleash the strength of a Class 5 combat Beast Emperor. Yi Qinfeng revealed a faint smile and immediately ordered the sword puppet to devour the 2 low-grade heaven crystals and hundreds of thousands of top-grade soul crystals to raise its strength to Class 5 combat Beast Emperor. Universe Mirror, keep. Then, Yi Qinfeng controlled the universe mirror with his mind and released a powerful devouring power. All the treasures in the treasury of the West Devil sect were sucked into it. At this moment, Mo Fengyun, Yu Shiyu, and the others who had torn apart the trapping array in anger rushed back. When Mo Fengyun saw that more than half of the West Devil sect that he had painstakingly built was destroyed by Jin Qing Dragon Bloodlion, he felt his heart bleeding. His eyes instantly turned blood red as he let out a roar of grief and indignation. Yi Qinfeng, I must eliminate you today. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the save button below to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 670. 222-94944. So fast. Mo Fengyun and the rest have caught up so quickly. Hearing Mo Fengyun's uncontrollable roar, Yi Qinfeng, who had just ransacked the West Demon Sect's treasure vault, smiled and walked out with the sword puppet. After devouring a large amount of energy, the sword puppet possessed the strength of a Class 5 combat Beast Emperor. Yi Qinfeng was no longer afraid of Mo Fengyun and the rest. In fact, he was fully capable of killing them. Yi Qinfeng, I want your life. Mo Fengyun, who was in a towering rage, sensed that Yi Qinfeng had walked out of the restricted space. He immediately guessed that Yi Qinfeng must have ransacked the treasure vault. A towering rage exploded in his chest as his eyes emitted a terrifying radiance. Although almost half of the West Demon Sect's treasures were in Mo Fengyun's Qian Kuan ring, the treasures in the treasure vault were still considerable. Once he lost them, the foundation of the West Demon Sect would be shaken. This was something that Mo Fengyun could not bear. I'm afraid the one who will die today will be you. As he spoke, Yi Qinfeng and the sword puppet swept across the sky and rushed into midair. Sword puppet, kill him for me. Sensing the towering killing intent from Mo Fengyun, Yi Qinfeng immediately handed the Emperor's Sky sword to the sword puppet and ordered it to attack Mo Fengyun with all its might and kill him. Boom! The Emperor's Sky sword clashed with the Sky Demon Dao soldier and immediately produced boundless sparks. A powerful force passed through the Sky Demon Dao soldier and into Mo Fengyun's arm, causing his arm to feel numb. Class 5 Combat Beast Emperor. Sensing the explosive attack power of the sword puppet, Mo Fengyun's expression changed drastically. He could not believe that the sword puppet's strength had increased to Class 5 Combat Beast Emperor in less than 2 hours. Crescent Slash. After pushing Mo Fengyun back, the sword puppet fused with the Emperor's Sky Sword. A crescent-like sword radiance slashed out from his body and sliced the air in half as it slashed towards Mo Fengyun. The sword puppet's sword was too fast for Fengyun to dodge. All he could do was unleash a demonic dragon-like sword light to counter the sword puppet's attack. At this moment, Yu Shiyu and the other 2 also executed the dancing heavenly demonic technique, conjuring a terrifying demonic shadow that blasted towards the crescent sword beam. Boom, boom, boom. Several powerful attacks collided, and an earth-shattering explosion immediately erupted. The chaotic space was unable to withstand the impact of the destructive power, and cracks appeared. Die! The sword puppet increased its speed and tore apart the destructive power that could topple mountains and overturn seas. It continued to exert pressure on Mo Fengyun and the others with the Emperor's Celestial Sword and went all out to kill them. Demon heart, burn. Crazy character. Facing the sword puppet's tide-like attacks, the pressure on Mo Feng Yun increased sharply. He had no choice but to ignite the power of his demon heart and release powerful demon chi to forcefully increase his strength to resist the sword puppet's attacks. Feeling the pressure, Yushiyu and the other two also ignited their spiritual beast bloodline and transformed into their beast soul form to attack with all their might. However, the sword puppet's defense was too terrifying. No matter how Mo Feng Yun and the other three attacked, they were unable to damage the sword puppet's body. Wrath of Divine Punishment. While the sword puppet was suppressing Mo Feng Yun and the other three, Yi Chunfeng appeared behind Mo Feng Yun and the others and summoned the golden clear dragon bloodline. The Chaos Divine Beast sealed off their escape route. Following that, Yi Chunfeng released the three heaven spirits and blasted out the Wrath of Divine Punishment consecutively. They bombarded Mo Feng Yun and the others, diverting their attention and forcing them to defend with all their might. Damn it, what kind of clone is this? Why is it so terrifying? Yu Shiyu attacked with all his might, but he was unable to harm the sword puppet at all. Furthermore, his injuries were worsening. The more he attacked, the more terrified he became, and the more he wanted to retreat. Suzaku Cauldron. When Yu Shiyu's demonic shadow was torn apart by the sword puppet, the Suzaku Cauldron flew out of Yi Qinfeng's body and crashed into him with a terrifying impact force. Oh no! As the Suzaku Cauldron approached, Yu Shiyu's expression changed drastically. He spat out several mouthfuls of blood, which merged into the supreme-grade heaven artifact Blue Cloud Heavenly Saber. He maximized the Heavenly Saber's attack power and slashed at the Suzaku Cauldron. Bang! A loud sound came from the Suzaku Cauldron. A powerful scorching force surged into Yu Shiyu's arm through the Blue Cloud Heavenly Saber, shaking his arm until he lost feeling and a large amount of blood seeped out. Scarlet Thunderball. When Yu Shiyu used all his strength to resist the Suzaku Cauldron, the Scarlet Thunderball suddenly flew out of the Suzaku Cauldron cover and released endless thunder of death. It was like a giant, devouring mouth that swallowed Yu Shiyu directly, crazily destroying his body and blasting him to the ground from midair. Die! Yi Qinfeng's sharp eyes locked onto the heavily injured Yu Shiyu. He descended from the sky with a quasi-Taoist, treasure-level, great ominous sword in his hand. He wanted to kill Yu Shiyu in one go and then deal with Mo Feng Yun. Yi Qinfeng, let me go. I will tell you about Nick Hang. Yu Shiyu felt the sharp killing intent from Yi Qinfeng's body and felt as if he was being stared at by the Grim Reaper. He fell into a state of panic and had no choice but to call out the name of the Moon Raiment. Nick Hang. Yi Qinfeng frowned slightly. He pointed the tip of the great ominous sword at Yu Shiyu's forehead and said coldly, "What happened to Nick Hang?" In order to survive, Yu Shiyu told Yi Qinfeng about Yu Nichang's news with some humiliation. My Yu family has the intention of forming a marriage alliance with the East Sea Palace. They are going to marry Nick Hang to the second young master of the East Sea Island, Hai Sanjian. What? Upon hearing this, Yi Qinfeng's soul trembled. A towering rage erupted from his body. Royal Language Academy. He did not expect that Yu Nick Hang was going to get married so soon. Just as Yi Qinfeng was interrogating Yu Shiyu, Mo Feng Yun, who could not withstand the fierce attacks of the sword puppet, gritted his teeth and glared at Yi Qinfeng viciously. He unleashed all the chi and blood in his body and performed the blood escape that was extremely damaging to his body. He broke through the obstruction of the two heavenly beasts and escaped from the West Devil sect at an extremely fast speed. Boss, Missouri Feng Yun escaped. When Mo Feng Yun escaped, the Chaos Divine Beast immediately transmitted a message to Yi Qinfeng. However, Yi Qinfeng, who was in a rage, turned a deaf ear to it. He stared at the heavily injured Yu Shiyu and controlled the Vermilion Bird Cauldron to suppress his body so that he could not move. Then, he reached out his hand and pressed on Yu Shiyu's head. He wanted to borrow the power of the God-Eater brain to forcefully search his soul and find out the truth about Yu Nichang's marriage. When Yu Qinyuan saw Yi Chunfeng pressing on Yu Shiyu's head with one hand, he was shocked and shouted loudly, "Stop! Yi Chunfeng, what are you trying to do? If you say another word of nonsense, I will kill you immediately." Yi Chunfeng's eyes, which were as sharp as swords, swept over Yu Qinyuan as he warned. Thump! When he met Yi Chunfeng's eyes that were filled with killing intent, Yu Qinyuan suddenly felt a chill down his spine. The reprimanding words were stuck in his throat, and he did not dare to say it out loud. Soul Search. The power of the God-Eater brain exploded and surged into Yu Shiyu's head through Yi Chunfeng's palm. While damaging his soul, it forcefully searched his soul. Yu Chan, you actually ignored Ni Chang's objection and forced her to marry the East Sea Palace's second young master, Hai San Jian, in order to consolidate your position as the head of the family. You wanted to gain the support of the East Sea Palace. After the soul search ended, Yi Chunfeng knew that there were less than 20 days before Yu Nichang's marriage. He threw Yu Qinyuan, who had fainted due to the severe damage to his soul, onto the ground. His eyes flickered with intense fury. Yu Chan, since you forced Nick Hang into a dead end, don't blame me for turning your Yu family upside down. Yi Chunfeng clenched his fist tightly as his eyes flickered with lightning as he vowed fearlessly. Mobile reading website, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 671. 22294945. Bring me to the Yu family. Yi Chunfeng's eyes flashed with ferocity as he looked at Yu Qinyuan and Yu Kanjing, who were in a bad mood, and said without allowing them to refuse, "All right, we will bring you there." After Mo Fengyun escaped, Yu Qinyuan and Yu Kanjing instantly fell into a desperate situation. Looking at the enraged Yi Chunfeng, they didn't dare to disobey Yi Chunfeng's orders and agreed without hesitation. Moreover, once they reached the Yu family's territory, Yu Qinyuan and Yu Kanjing could use a secret technique to inform the Yu family to prepare in advance. By then, even if Yi Chunfeng had 3 heads and 6 arms, he wouldn't be able to leave alive. Wait, I changed my mind again. After calming down, Yi Chunfeng sorted out his thoughts and weighed the pros and cons of kidnapping Yu Qinyuan and Yu Kanjing to the Yu family. Suddenly, he changed his mind and looked at Yu Qinyuan and Yu Kanjing coldly. "Yi Chunfeng, what are you doing?" Seeing Yi Chunfeng's cold eyes, Yu Qinyuan and Yu Kanjing's hearts skipped a beat. They looked at Yi Chunfeng in unison and asked in a panic. "Nothing. I suddenly want to go to the Yu family myself. As for the 2 of you, I will bring you to a safe place to have a good night's sleep." Yi Chunfeng wanted to kill Yu Qinyuan and Yu Kanjing to end everything. However, he knew that now wasn't the time to fall out with the Yu family. After pondering for a while, he decided to let them live. Yu Qinyuan and Yu Kanjing's faces changed drastically. They wanted to detonate all the blood in their body and escape using the blood escape technique. However, the sword puppet's attack speed was even faster. In an instant, more than 10 sharp sword gleams were intertwined, sealing off their escape route and attacking them with all its might. Without Mo Fengyun as the main combat force, the 2 of them couldn't withstand the sword puppet's ferocious attacks. Soon they were severely injured and fell to the ground, heavily injured. Yi Chunfeng, the Yu family will never let you off. Yu Canjing, whose face was covered in dirt and blood, struggled to get up. He glared at Yi Chunfeng with his blood-red eyes and roared loudly. "You should pray that the Yu family doesn't force me into a dead end. Otherwise, only death awaits the 3 of you." Yi Chunfeng said emotionlessly as he looked at the 2 of them coldly. After saying that, Yi Chunfeng didn't waste any more words with them and directly knocked them out. Following that, Yi Chunfeng ordered the Jin Xing Dragon Bloodline and the other Chaos Divine Beasts to kill the 2 level 7 heavenly beasts raised by the Yu family, the Black Jiao Dragons, and devour their beast cores and powerful flesh, further increasing their strength. Another time in space, the rise of China. Let's go. Time was of the essence. Yi Chunfeng didn't continue to destroy the West Demon sect. He brought the unconscious Yu, Qinyuan, and the other two to a mountain range near the Heaven Blue region. He controlled the Tao of Death to seal their souls and soul power, threw them into a hidden cave, and rode the Jinxing dragon bloodline to the eastern continent. Moon State City, one of the most famous cities in the eastern continent. It was located in the northwest of the eastern continent and was built beside a quiet lake. The reason why Moon State City was so famous was because it was the headquarters of the Yu family, a super force in the eastern continent. Almost 80% of the Yu family's experts lived here, and the Yu family was known as the #1 demonic cultivation clan in the Duhan continent. This made Moon State City a sacred city in the hearts of the demonic cultivation clan. Because the Yu family was about to have a marriage alliance with the #1 force in the eastern continent, the East Sea Palace, the Moon State City had become unprecedentedly lively. Many of the forces that depended on the Yu family and the East Sea Palace had received the invitation and arrived early to gather in Moon State City. They were prepared to witness the alliance of the two super forces. Moon State City, we have finally arrived. The West Demon sect was very far from the Moon State City. Yi Chanfeng rode the Jinxing dragon bloodline for close to 8 days and finally arrived at the outskirts of the Moon State City. Looking at the Moon State City from afar, it was like a giant dragon. The black city walls were dozens of meters tall, and the majestic city gates gave people a strong visual impact. Yi Chanfeng couldn't help but sigh. Just the scale of the West Demon sect's influence was far inferior to the Yu family. Even if Mo Fengyun had heaven-defying methods, without thousands of years of accumulation, the West Demon sect wouldn't be able to develop into a super force like the Yu family. Feeling the terror of the Yu family, Yi Chanfeng didn't back down. For Yu Nikang, even if it was a dragon's lair or a tiger's den, Yi Chanfeng had to give it a try. Array pattern. Yi Chanfeng controlled the illusion Dao pattern to change his appearance. He followed a straight road and walked to the bottom of the Moon State City, which was filled with the vicissitudes of life. His sharp senses suddenly realized that there were tens of thousands of array patterns floating above the Moon State City. They formed a huge array that was hidden in the void and enveloped the entire Moon State City. Such extravagance. Even an extremely accomplished array master wouldn't be able to set up such a huge void array without hundreds of years, Yi Chanfeng muttered to himself. He also felt that the Yu family was unfathomable. Stand there. Do you have an invitation? When Yi Chanfeng wanted to follow the crowd into the Moon State City, he was immediately stopped. Invitation? Yi Chanfeng frowned slightly and looked at the pedestrians in front of him. Why don't they need an invitation to enter the city? They are residents of our Moon State City. Their clothes have a unique symbol of the Moon State City. Naturally, they don't need an invitation. A guard wearing silver armor and holding a 3-meter-long spear with a stern expression spoke in a deep voice. Can I enter the city without an invitation? Yi Chanfeng asked coldly. That's right. It's still the 11th day. Our Yu family's princess is getting engaged to the East Sea Palace's second young master. In order to prevent too many idle people from affecting the ceremony, the clan head only allows invited guests to enter the city. If you don't have an invitation, please leave. After the engagement ceremony, you can enter the city as you wish. Lightning Summoner, the silver-armored guard said coldly. And I got it. Yi Chanfeng didn't act rashly and force his way into the Moon State City. He controlled his soul spirit to remember the unique symbol of the Moon State City's residents and turned to leave. In just a short while, he controlled the illusion Dao intent to change his appearance again. Yi Chanfeng arrived at the bottom of the Moon State City again. On his shoulder hung an identity symbol that he had forcefully snatched. Sensing that there was no problem with the identity symbol on Yi Chanfeng's clothes, the guards at the city gate didn't question him. They directly led him into the Moon State City that was enveloped by the formation runes. There are still 11 days left. How can I destroy the marriage between the Yu family and the East Sea Palace? Although the sword puppet had fused with a large amount of energy and possessed the strength of a level 5 beast emperor, Yi Chanfeng was very clear that directly going to the Yu family to snatch the princess wouldn't work. He had to think of another way to destroy the marriage between the two great forces. However, in the face of such a huge disparity, he couldn't think of a good idea at the moment. I'll stay here first and think of another way later. After racking his brains to no avail, Yi Chanfeng decided to stay here first and think of a way to destroy the marriage between the two great forces. However, when he wanted to stay in an inn, he ran into big trouble. He went to 4 inns in a row, but they all rejected him on the grounds that he had to have an invitation. Just as Yi Chanfeng repeatedly hit a wall and his expression became extremely unsightly, a familiar figure wearing a linen robe and standing straight as a sword appeared in front of him. This person's strength was at the level of a level 1 beast emperor. Looking at this familiar figure, Yi Chanfeng revealed a surprised expression and immediately quickened his pace to catch up. Mobile reading site. Book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blogs, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 672. 22294946. Brother Jianshun, it's me. I'm Yi Chanfeng. Yi Chanfeng lowered his voice to a whisper and transmitted it into the ears of a young man who was wearing a linen robe and had a sharp aura. He was accompanying a green-clothed girl. This linen-robed man was Jianshun, the one who had challenged the ancient heaven palace and the ethereal paradise with Yi Chanfeng. The fact that he had broken through to the first-grade combat Beast Emperor realm in such a short period of time was enough to show that he had obtained a great opportunity and completed a qualitative transformation. Yi Chanfeng. Hearing Yi Chanfeng's familiar voice, Jianshun was startled. He suddenly stopped and looked around, but he didn't see Yi Chanfeng. Brother Jianshun, I'm on your left. Let's go to the bamboo forest to talk. Yi Chanfeng was also very surprised that Jianshun would appear in Moon Province City. He didn't know any of the people beside Jianshun, and 3 of the old men gave Yi Chanfeng a sense of danger. To avoid any accidents, Yi Chanfeng quickly walked to a bamboo forest with a pleasant scenery not far away after leaving behind these words. Lear, I met an old friend in Moon Province City. You guys go back to the inn first, I'll be right back. With that, Jianshun's eyes were locked on Yi Chanfeng's back. He ignored the green-clothed woman's objection and quickly chased after Yi Chanfeng. He followed closely into the bamboo forest. Chengfeng, the 2 of them walked to a place where there was no one else. Jianshun looked at Yi Chanfeng's unfamiliar back and hesitated. Brother Jianshun, I didn't think we would meet in Moon Province City. Yi Chanfeng dispelled the illusion and returned to his original appearance. He revealed a faint smile. Yi Chanfeng trusted Jianshun and believed that he wouldn't betray him. Chengfeng, I didn't think I would meet you here either. Seeing Yi Chanfeng's familiar appearance, Jianshun revealed a faint smile and said, What? Did you also receive an invitation from the Yu family? No, the Yu family didn't invite me. I came uninvited. Yi Chanfeng revealed a cold smile and said, What? Do you have a grudge against the Yu family? Jianshun asked with a frown when he heard the hidden meaning in Yi Chanfeng's words and thought of the appearance he had transformed into. Brother Jianshun, I want to sneak into the Yu family. Can you help me? Yi Chanfeng didn't answer Jianshun's question and didn't tell him why he came to Moon Province City. No problem. I can help you enter the Yu family. However, Chengfeng, the Yu family is extremely powerful. If you really do have a grudge against the Yu family, I advise you not to cause trouble for them before you grow up. With the Yu family's terrifying strength and bloody methods, you will die. Although Jianshun felt that bringing Yi Chanfeng to the Yu family would cause him trouble, he still agreed. This made Yi Chanfeng feel very touched. The Legend of a Desert. Thank you. That's right, Brother Jianshun. How are the people of Misty Mountain? Sect Master Shui and the others are doing well. However, they found a spiritual mountain at the intersection of the northern continent and the southern continent. They are preparing to rebuild Misty Mountain there. I also left Sword Valley. Jianshun said, Brother Yi Chanfeng, you join another sect? Yi Chanfeng asked in surprise. Yes. In order to pursue the supreme way of the sword, I joined the Heaven's Sword Palace, an 8th-rank holy land of the eastern continent. I became the last disciple of the Heaven's Sword Palace Master. Jian Chen nodded. Congratulations, Brother Jian Chen. I didn't think you would have such a fortuitous encounter. Yi Chenfeng forcefully searched Yu Shiyu's soul and gained a certain understanding of the changes in the Eastern continent. He knew that the Heaven Sword Palace, the East Sea Palace, the Yu family, and the Nine Phantom Mountain were the four great holy lands of the Eastern continent. For Jian Shun to be accepted as the last disciple of the Heaven Sword Palace Master, it was enough to show that he was outstanding and had gained the favor of the Heaven Sword Palace Master. Chung Feng, where did you escape to when you were chased by Mo Fengyan? Jian Shin still remembered what happened back then. He really wanted to know how Yi Chanfeng managed to escape Mo Fengyan's pursuit. I escaped to the Western continent. Yi Chanfeng gave a simple explanation. However, he intentionally hid a few important secrets, such as how he had single-handedly destroyed the Western demon sect. Yi Chenfeng intentionally hid it not because he didn't believe Jian Shun, but because some things were just too shocking. He didn't want to casually mention them. I didn't think you would actually participate in the Dragon Lake martial competition and kill the strongest person of the younger generation, Mo Wuwang. Although Yi Chunfeng's description was very plain, Jian Shin knew that his experience was definitely not simple. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to break through to the 6th rank of Defiant Beast King in such a short time. Let's go, Chung Feng. Let's go back to the inn and talk. You can stay with us for a while. When the time comes, I'll take you to the Yu family, Jian Shin said. All right, Yi Chenfeng nodded. He controlled the illusory Dao intent to change his appearance and followed Jian Chen out of the quiet bamboo forest. They arrived at an elegant and ancient inn in the depths of a garden. Jian Chen, who is he? A tall and slender young woman in an emerald green silk dress with a graceful figure walked out of the inn. Her long black hair was tied up with a green silk scarf and draped over her fair and delicate shoulders. Her facial features were very delicate, and she gave off a heroic feeling. She walked out of the inn with her slender legs. When she saw the unfamiliar face of Yi Chanfeng beside Jian Shun, her expression changed. She asked coldly, Lear, he's my friend. Like us, he's also here to congratulate the Yu family. I saw that he was alone, so I invited him to stay with us. Jian Shun looked at the young woman's cold appearance and heard her cold tone. He revealed a bitter smile and softly explained, Jian Shun, my Heaven Sword Palace has many enemies. Recently, too many experts have gathered in Moon Province City. In order to avoid any accidents, you can't act alone in the future. Alternate space-time. China rises, the green-clothed woman warned seriously. However, she didn't question Yi Chenfeng too much. Clearly, she trusted Jian Shun. Understand. The unruly Jian Shun lost his usual arrogance in front of the green-clothed woman and nodded. This surprised Yi Chenfeng. It seems that Jian Shun is interested in this green-clothed woman. Otherwise, he wouldn't be so obedient. Yi Chenfeng revealed a faint smile as he thought to himself, You guys go rest in the inn. I'll go buy some things. With that, the green-clothed woman left the inn with a whiff of fragrance. Accompanied by a white-haired old man, she left. Chenfeng, don't mind her. Lear is a person with a cold face, but a warm heart. Her standards are high, and she's strict and harsh to others, but she's still very kind inside. Jian Chun explained rather helplessly through a communication technique as he walked into the quaint inn. I didn't take it to heart. Jian Shin's explanation confirmed Yi Chenfeng's guess even more. He smiled and asked through a communication technique, Brother Jian Chun, have you fallen for her? I have a good impression of her. Jian Chun was startled. His cold face revealed a trace of unnaturalness, but he still admitted it. If you like her, then fight for her. Don't go against your heart. That will affect your heart of martial arts. Yi Chenfeng patted Jian Chen's shoulder and said, but while he was persuading Jian Chen, he felt a trace of bitterness in his heart. Facing the two strongest holy lands in the Eastern continent, would he be able to take back Unikang? He wasn't sure. P.S. 5th update. Red Packet has an event. Please subscribe to it. In addition, tomorrow I'll post Jian Chen's picture. Add your friends on WeChat. YLTY 83, or search Cloud Tears Rain. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button below to record this reading. Next time you open the bookshelf, you'll see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 673. 22306-481. With Jian Chen's help, Yi Chenfeng was finally able to stay in Moonstate City. However, as the date of the engagement between Unique Heng and Hai San Jian drew closer, Yi Chenfeng fell into a state of frustration. Looks like that's the only way, Yi Chenfeng thought to himself as he looked at the darkening sky outside the window. A hint of determination appeared in his eyes. Chenfeng, the Yu family has invited people from the 3 Holy Lands to a banquet tonight. I wonder if you're interested in going to the Yu family's banquet with us? Jian Chen's voice suddenly rang out from outside the room and entered Yi Chenfeng's ears. All right, I'll go with you. Yi Chenfeng raised his eyebrows and agreed without hesitation. He was just about to go to the Yu family to check out the situation when the opportunity presented itself. Chenfeng, the Yu family is different from other families. Their overall strength is terrifying, and they have more than one Class 5 combat beast emperor. So, when you go to the Yu family, you must not act recklessly. If you anger the Yu family, even the Heaven Sword Palace won't be able to protect you. Jian Chun did not ask Yi Chenfeng why he insisted on going to the Yu family, but before he left, he warned him sternly. Don't worry, brother Jian Chun. If something happens, I won't drag you down with me. Yi Chenfeng revealed a faint smile and said softly, Chenfeng, I sincerely treat you as a friend. If something happens to you, do you think I'll retreat? Jian Chun pretended to be angry and said, I just don't want to cause unnecessary casualties. Thank you, I won't act recklessly. Yi Chenfeng looked at Jian Chen's serious expression and felt warmth in his heart. He did not say anything else and said, Let's go to the Yu family. After saying that, Yi Chenfeng and Jian Chun left the tavern and met up with the Heaven Sword Palace experts outside. An expert. Walking out of the inn, Yi Chenfeng's eyes were immediately attracted by a white-robed old man with white hair and a slightly hunched back. Although the white-robed old man had deliberately concealed his strength, Yi Chenfeng's sharp senses could sense a strong sense of danger from him. It was highly possible that he was a level 4 beast emperor that was even more terrifying than Mo Fengyan. Yi Feng, although I don't know why Jian Chen insisted on bringing you along, you've entered the Yu family with us, so you're equivalent to a disciple of our Heaven Sword Palace. Your every word and action represents our Heaven Sword Palace, so you can't cause any trouble in the Yu family, nor can you bring shame to our Heaven Sword Palace. Jian Moli called out Yi Chenfeng's fake name and warned sternly when she saw Yi Chenfeng beside Jian Chun. She wore a jade-green dress and an emerald necklace. She gave off a unique bearing. Don't worry, I won't bring shame to the Heaven Sword Palace. Yi Chenfeng nodded and said in a tone that was neither arrogant nor humble. Okay, let's go. Jian Moli nodded and did not say anything else. She led the group to the Yu family's residence in the center of the city. Crazy character. The Yu family's residence occupied the most central area of Moon Province City. It suppressed the source of the spirit vein of Moon Province City. The spiritual energy in the residence was extremely dense, and the security was extremely tight. Because the Yu family's residence was too big, the residents of Moon Province City called the Yu family's residence a city within the city. However, other than the Yu family's disciples, ordinary people would never be able to set foot in the Yu family's residence. When Jian Moli and the group arrived outside the Yu family's residence, the Yu family's housekeeper, who had been waiting for them for a long time, immediately stepped forward and opened the formation, personally leading them to the banquet hall. What dense spiritual energy. The Yu family really knows how to find a place. They actually built their residence at the source of the spirit vein. After entering the Yu family's residence, Yi Chenfeng felt a dense spiritual energy rush towards him. Between the exotic plants and divine vines, there were wisps of spiritual energy that turned into mist. Pavilions, terraces, and pavilions were hidden among the ancient pine trees. Pots of bonsai, wisteria, and bamboo decorated the place, adding a sense of immortality. I wonder if Nick Hang will appear tonight. Yi Chun-feng and the group walked along a long corridor that was carved with many ancient paintings. They arrived at the dazzling banquet hall, which was emitting a faint golden light. They realized that the hall was filled with people. Among them, sitting in the main seat of the hall, was a man in a black robe with cloud patterns. His facial features were chiseled, and he exuded a domineering aura. He looked a little like Nick Hang and attracted Yi Chun-feng's attention. Based on his outstanding appearance, he should be the new head of the Yu family. He was Yu Nichan's father, Yu Chan, great elder Jian, Li welcome to the Yu family's residence. When he saw the white-robed elder, Jian Mali, and the group arrive, Yu Chan, who was sitting in the main seat, smiled faintly and spoke in a deep voice. "You family head, you are too polite." Great elder Jian smiled faintly and looked at Yu Chan, who had a strong aura. He said slowly, "Our palace master wanted to personally come and congratulate us. However, he was unable to leave due to an important matter. He could only send me, Molly, to represent him. I hope that you will not blame us, you family head." How could that be? We are old friends, so there's no need to be so polite." Yu Chan laughed and said, "Everyone, please take a seat." With that, a graceful woman in a tight, red qipao walked forward and arranged seats for the group from the Heaven Sword Palace. "Li after not seeing you for 3 years, you have become even more beautiful. As expected of the woman that my sea stone cave has taken a fancy to." The Heaven Sword Palace's people had just taken their seats when a burly man in aqua-blue robes with thick eyebrows raised slightly took a sip of wine. He looked at Jian Moli with a fiery gaze and spoke with ill intentions. He had a devilish expression on his face, and his thick eyebrows were slightly raised. His body seemed to contain boundless energy. Although the man's voice was not loud, everyone present was an expert, so they all heard what he said. Jian Chen's deep eyes shone with a cold light. He could not help but place his right hand on the scabbard on the table. "Sea Stone Cave, if you can defeat me, I can consider giving you a chance to pursue her. Unfortunately, you are too weak, so weak that I can't interest you in the slightest." Royal Language Academy. Jian Mali extended her small white hand and placed it on Jian Chen's right hand that was holding the scabbard. She looked at the provocative Sea Stone Cave with disdain and spoke rudely. "Jian Mali, I don't know if you have heard of this saying, today is different from the past." Sea Stone Cave never thought that Jian Mali's mouth would be so venomous, not giving him any face at all. His face instantly darkened, and his eyes flickered with coldness. So what if I have heard of it? So what if I haven't? I only know that weaklings are weaklings, and weaklings only know how to talk big." Jian Mali coldly snorted. Good. I will let you know my power very soon." Sea Stone Cave's veins bulged on his forehead as he gloomily said. Clearly, Sea Stone Cave had had a fortuitous encounter in the past few years. His strength had grown rapidly, giving him the confidence to fight with Jian Mali. While Jian Moli and Hai Shirku were at each other's throats, Yi Chunfeng's gaze was fixed on the man sitting beside Hai Shirku. The man was dressed in a long white robe with dark patterns on it. His long, ink-black hair was draped over his shoulders. His entire body emitted a cold aura, and his deep eyes had a sharp gaze. Although Yi Chunfeng had never seen Hai Sanjian before, he could sense that this white-haired man was the second young master of the East Sea Palace, the Hai Sanjian who was trying to get his hands on Nick Hang. Aside from Hai Sanjian, there was another man wearing a dark red robe. He did not speak and drank alone, causing Yi Chunfeng to take a few more glances at him. From his attire, he should have come from Nine Nether Mountain. However, the Nick Hang that Yi Chunfeng yearned for day and night was not present. This made Yi Chunfeng feel a little regretful. "All right, Li Shirku, both of you should speak less. If you really want to spar, then don't. If you really want to spar, I will give you a chance after the banquet." Yu Chan looked at the two people who were at loggerheads at the banquet. She smelled the thick smell of gunpowder and did not get angry. She slowly said, "Serve the dishes." Soon, more than 10 tall maids with light makeup and extraordinary appearances walked into the banquet hall, carrying plates of fragrant dishes cooked with precious materials and jugs of wine that had been aged for 1,000 years. With Yu Chan's frequent toasts, the atmosphere in the banquet hall was very lively. However, under the stimulation of alcohol, the geniuses of the three holy lands had sparks flying. Mobile reading site, book address. In order to make it easier for you to read next time, you can click on the Save button below to record your reading record. Next time you open your bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support.